All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the IROC Challenge Series presented by Loud Pedal Gaming and R&R Racewear. I'm Joshua Sobel, and here with me tonight, Alan Cahaley. How's it going, dude?
I'm good. How you doing tonight?
Doing well, doing well. Doing another race here at Dover at the IROC Challenge Series now. So for those of you who didn't know, we actually did a race Monday night for another league at Dover with the Cup Series cars, and that was exciting. So I'm interested to see how these guys handle tonight's race.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very interesting one. The good news is these cars, from what we've seen in practice, do seem to be much more stable than what we saw a couple of days ago in that league. So I think we're going to see some clean racing here. And one thing that's really interesting that I noticed is that these tires actually seem to be a bit faster once these cars have gone about 5 or 6 laps. So apparently we thought that the runoff was going to be much quicker than it actually is appearing to be, but we'll certainly have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, it should be a very interesting one, and tires might not be as important as I think you and I probably assumed it would be today, but only time will tell.
Absolutely, and to kind of go over some changes that's actually happened within the league that were made a few days ago, they now added a short track special, which is going to be only related to mile or shorter tracks. So there's only about 4 left after tonight's race. That's going to allow the top 15 in qualifying to advance to the feature, which they're qualifying currently. Then 16th back will race in a heat race, which is only going to be about 60 laps or 35 minutes, whichever comes first. Then from there, the top 10 from the heat race will advance to the feature. So that would mean that within 150 laps of the feature race, there will only be 25 cars starting the race. And if I remember correctly, we have about 30 people right now, actually. So we're looking at 5 guys going home tonight due to the rule change at these tracks.
Yeah, and that certainly, obviously it adds some pressure, not just for the guys who aren't having the fastest laps, but also for the guys, in the front, the middle, anything in between. You still have to keep the car clean. And so, I think you're going to see a lot of give and take because of that rule. And that should certainly make things much more interesting and could get some hot heads by the end of this first heat race.
Absolutely. And for those of you wondering, we are at Dover International Speedway for the Hydrotech 150, looking at 150 laps, 150 miles in total. They are going to be using 1 fast repair. There's going to be 2 sets of tires and 3 attempts at a green-white checkered. So hopefully we won't need to use all 3 green-white checkers like we did at Lucas Oil. That's a thing of the past. Hopefully we can look through that now. And I'm excited to see how the guys will keep it clean here tonight. As we're about to start, it looks like our first race here is going to be the heat race.
Yeah, and for those of you who did get a chance to check out that Lucas Oil race, I was not a part of the broadcast and didn't get a chance to come back and watch until near the end there. But man, it was I think pretty much everybody in that race was kind of pretty embarrassed about it. So there's those tracks every now and then that are just so difficult to get around clean. And yeah, that definitely seemed to be the case with Lucas Oil. I haven't raced at that place since it was called Indianapolis Race Park. I think that's what it used to be called back on NRO3. So I had not gotten a chance to really check out that track, but I do know it's a tough one. So hopefully this one goes a bit cleaner here tonight.
Absolutely, and I'm not sure the gridding will work for heat races. iRacing's kind of weird when it comes to that, so I will try the grid just to see, but I don't believe it will, and it's not. Good to know. So the heat races, again, like I said, it's going to be, it looks like 15 drivers currently. So we're going to kind of go through that. I'm going to go through that list real quick here. We have Hunter Clark in the 11 car and Lance Riggins in the 10 car starting up front 1 and 2. In position 3, we got Alan Warnecke in the 72 and Brandon Mefford in the 83. In 5th and 6th, we got Stoney Benfield and Cody and Jorgensen. 7th and 8th, we got Jarrett Widener and Mike Harper. 9th and 10th, we have David Trumbley and Jeffrey Goldbolt. 11th and 12th, Kyle Pendergraph and Chris Quick. 13th and 14th, Ken Harper and Colt Hensley. And 15th is going to be Brad McDaniel. So one of those names is actually new for tonight. That's going to be the 69 of Colt Hensley there. He is actually brand new in the series, and it looks like he's having some connection issues, so hopefully he can get that straightened out.
That's a good way to start.
Absolutely, but he's new here, so we've got to hope for the best and see if he can keep it clean and actually make it to the feature tonight.
Yeah, and one of my main duties tonight, not only to commentate, but also to try to keep up with these fast repairs. It is much easier said than done, so hopefully I can do an effective job of that, but we'll see.
Yeah, green flag about to come down here for 60 laps at Dover for a
here we go. Oh my goodness.
Wow, Jarrett Widener already spinning out on the front stretch. And that is going to bring out caution numero uno. Go ahead and pull up the replay really quick. Kind of got a little bit of a glimpse of it. Not 100% sure what was going on there.
33 of Jarrett Wiedner tried to go under the car in front of him, trying to see which one that was. It was the green car, the 66 of Stoney Benfield. Just kind of had trouble going, and the 33 tried to dive under him and just kind of lost it there, as you can see. And man, well, that might be those cars already that don't make it to the main event.
Yeah, just like that. That's probably going to take him out completely, because I do believe he went to the pits and got towed back. So his night could have already ended before it even had the chance to start. And I don't believe, did we see any contact from behind, or did he just get loose on the start?
No, there was no contact. He had to swerve down low to avoid Benfield, and just tried to correct it, and just unfortunately overcorrect a little bit. And just, you know, when you're spinning in front of the field, that's never a good thing, especially here at Dover, where there's not a whole lot of room to avoid a wreck.
Absolutely not. And this is going to be the smallest field we're going to have here tonight, but it looks like, unfortunately, oh no, one of the new guys, Colt Hensley, actually involved in that one and didn't even get a chance to really show what his car had, and unfortunately is going to be in the pits. Now I'm kind of curious, because I know the feature has fast repairs.
I'm guessing this one doesn't, because Wiedner, I'm pretty sure he would be using that fast repair right now, but he is still in the pits, so I don't believe that's the case for this heat race.
So hate to see it. Unfortunately, two guys getting collected in the beginning there. Brad McDaniel also coming down pit road, only there for a little bit. I'm not sure if he got any damage or anything either, but now go ahead.
One thing interesting is the 92 of Jeffrey Gilbalt currently has his rear end dragging the track, but he has not come into pit. Actually, it does look like he's going to come in now. So as I speak, it looks like he is going to come in and get that damage repaired.
It looks like Pendergraph also coming in. Kyle, oh wow, Kyle's got heavy damage as well too.
Yeah, that cleared up about half the field right there.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, not a big field, so you know that's not saying a whole lot, but still, that was a good size wreck. Especially, I don't think these guys had even crossed the start-finish line yet, so definitely not how they wanted to get started.
Not at all, but that's why we have heat races here. I think really what they're trying to do is weed out the people that might cause more incidents on these shorter tracks, and just kind of get them on out before they have a chance to ruin races throughout the season. So things, you know, leagues, that's what they do. They like to improvise and look at different ways to make the league better, and I think it's a good touch, especially on mile-long tracks for sure. And Dover being one of the fastest mile-long tracks and very, very narrow is a good place to test it.
So real quick, check out the 92 of Jeffrey Gilbalt again. I think we stand corrected. His car looks like brand new.
Interesting. So
apparently there is a fast repair.
So I
which
guess
is just,
Colt doesn't know?
yeah, I'm not,
Interesting. I
yeah,
wonder if
that is
Colt's unaware.
that's very interesting.
Because he would still have a shot, but I mean, he's going to be 4 laps down now. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he, with him being new, he may not have known there was a fast repair, but if he didn't know, I mean, typically it's auto-checked. So it would have gave it to him.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what your settings are.
Yeah, because I know there's a way you can turn on fast repairs in general. But yeah, that's unfortunate for him. Colt is going to be sitting in the pits there. So we're going to have a lot of racing here. Like I said,
and by the way, we did have a lengthy caution there. It was to get black flags cleared. During that wreck, there was a little bit of passing before the start-finish line, technically, with all those cars spinning. So just had to take a few minutes for race control to get that cleared up. But this does look like we're on one to go now.
Yep, and the pace car is going to be coming down pit road at this time by. It'll allow these 14 guys to battle it out, and hopefully we can get it straightened out and not breed cautions. So Clark bringing us around turn 4 here.
I don't know what's going. The Colt Hensley left the pits, but he is way off pace on the apron. That's just a weird situation right now.
And green flag in the air. Clark bringing them to the turn 1. Warnecke getting a heck of a run there down low. You can see Colt Hensley there coming off the pits. Guys are getting it straightened up now. Looks like they'll have a good chance of some clean racing here on out.
Yeah, nice single file start overall. It does look like we have a close battle for the lead currently.
Warnecke already trying to take that position. Now keep in mind, this race isn't about who wins. It's about being in the top 10. So the guys that you're really going to see battling from 11th to 15th trying to make their way into the feature.
Yeah, and this is, this is good practice for these guys. I mean, I would like to think that, the top 5, the top 10 of this heat race are going to have a bit of an advantage in the actual main event because, I mean, they're getting good practice, not just for the laps turn, but also for the race situations. I mean, you can't always mimic it in a practice session, being so close to cars for consistent laps without somebody, just being reckless and causing a big mess in a practice session. If you're in iRacing, you see that all the time. So this is definitely a invaluable experience that these guys are getting right now in preparation for the main event.
Absolutely. And what's also interesting here too is that it looks like about 3 of the guys that are in the heat race, one of them bringing the 83 right here on the screen, Brandon Mefford, who's 4th in the standings, is actually in one of the heat races. Alongside him is also Chris Quick in the 54.
And we've got an accident.
Just like that, 92 is around Hensley again, collecting Gilbolt. And I think Hensley Knight is going to be done with after that one.
Yeah, Hensley just definitely got loose coming off the turn. We saw a whole lot of that a couple nights ago in the other league, but yeah, just an unfortunate situation there. And if you're Jeffrey Gilbalt, you're really frustrated right now because you're both in position to make the main race, and that's just an aggressive move right there that you just really should have been avoided.
You see Hensley there on the high side. Looks like he just gets loose off of 2. Unfortunately, Gilbolt there in the 92, just part of that down low, couldn't go anywhere. Hensley, unfortunately, just takes him out with him. Obviously, pretty sure that's more of a racing incident. We'll have to ride on board and see just how loose he gets here.
And by the way, Gilbalt did use that fast repair, so this is damage that he must get repaired manually. Not as easy as a fast repair.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate for Gilbolt there. You see the hood coming up on Hensley's car. And yeah, it loose out of 2. He goes to that high side. That's the last thing you want to do. The banking in these corners, looking at about 24 degrees on your turns and then 9 degrees on the straights. You got a nice little hilltop so to say, coming out of there, and it really upsets the car. So unfortunately, him making that move to the high side coming off of turn 2, just not the way to do it. But he's also new, so learning it is that's part of it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some first race jitters for him, I'm sure. You know, when you're sorry, I saw a question in the chat, but when you're new to a league, it doesn't matter how many laps you've logged. You don't know how these guys around you are going to race, and so there's definitely some nervousness, being around people that you're not used to racing against. I mean, even in the official iRacing series, where it's not an actual league, but you're racing for I rating and safety rating and all that, you kind of get used to the people that you're around. You've been around them for a race or two, because typically those guys around the same I rating, you end up racing with them a good bit. And so you kind of start to get comfortable around certain drivers. But when you're in a brand new league like this, unless you have connections to the league, where you're knowing guys, that race in here, it's new faces for you. And so it definitely is, definitely takes some time to adjust to a new league.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys have been racing side by side here for the last few weeks now, so. And I think most of these guys have had a season before this. I do believe this is their second season in the IROC series. So first time with us broadcasting them, but second series for them. So a lot of these guys are already pretty comfortable with one another, and you'll definitely notice that more and more once we get into the feature race. Just unfortunate how the cautions have panned out so far.
Yeah, but one thing that I did notice before that caution came out was what we were talking about before the race did appear to be correct. I mean, these guys were, on about lap 6 or 7 of, since the green flag. And Alan Warnecki, the current leader, he did run his fastest lap. I think it was 2 laps before that caution came out at 23.349. So, yeah, I mean, the tires do not appear to have quick fall off. Now we'll see what happens as they get deeper and deeper into the run. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting to see, because it doesn't happen very often where, the tires actually get faster as you get a couple of laps on them. That's not something you see very often.
Yeah, and the ARCA cars, I've never really experimented too much with them here at Dover. So most of the races we've seen so far in the IROC series, it's typically just been like a loose series in general.
Exactly. But this race, from what practice looked like, looks different from any one that we've seen so far in terms of these IROC cars, because at all of the other tracks, they were just slipping and sliding all over the place. And although that last caution was from somebody getting loose, they don't seem to be having as much of an issue as they have in previous weeks, especially Lucas Oil.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lucas Oil, a distant memory now.
A distant nightmare.
Yeah, distant nightmare is definitely right. Getting it out of their minds. But Warnecki here, all he's thinking about is taking this one home and hoping no one can ruin his night. Got a great start in front of Lance Riggins in the 10 car. Huge gap already, 6/10 of the way, but we'll see if Lance can catch back up to him. Meanwhile, back here for 4th and 5th, Hunter Clark and Mike Harper battling it out in this little second group. Harper looking like he's going to try and get in. Sorry, Clark is battling Medford. Oh, there's more cars in this mix here. Trying to see if he can take that spot away, but everyone's pretty much single file now.
Yeah, definitely some clean restarts that we've seen so far. We'll see what happens as they get further into this heat. But again, this is a heat, so you're not going to see, or I guess I should correct myself, you shouldn't see some super aggressive moves. But at the end of the day, it's still a race. The competitive part of these guys, you want to go up there at the front no matter what the race is. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Brandon Medford, again, one of the guys that's on the standings, sitting in 4th. He's definitely securing a spot right now, sitting in 3rd. But the battle is going to be basically back here where David Tremblay is at in 96, who's actually being battled by Gilbolt in the 92. Car's looking pretty good for the incident that he was in. Obviously still competitive, so he's going to take that position away from David Tremblay there in the 96 coming off of 4.
Yeah, and that's a good job of him to work back into the top 10. I was actually going to mention him even before you did, but yeah, the top 2 have definitely pulled away, but really after that, it's pretty much anybody else's race. But yeah, Gilbolt definitely has done a nice job. I don't believe he came in to get that damage repaired. I think he just decided to stay out there and see what he can do, and so far that's paid off.
Absolutely. Stoney Binfield in the mix back here as well, too, in the 66. Ken Harper in the 81 also here. Looks like Jarrett Wiedner in the 33. Still 2 laps down from that first incident right off the rip, but car's looking good, so hopefully he can, if anyone's looking for a caution, it's this guy right now. He's the only one that's currently still in the race. Colt Hensley unfortunately retired, so he is done for the night. Hate to see it, especially for a rookie. But yeah, back up front, Alan Warnecke kind of just running away with this one so far.
Yeah, and he is still very quick. In fact, both of the top 2 are still very quick. We talked about it before. Alan Warnecke's best lap at 23.349. His last lap was a 23.5. But it just changed to a 23.771. But still, not a whole lot of fall off compared to what we thought we would see here.
And it looks like Lance Riggins is slowly starting to get some of that momentum going. Was about 4 tenths back the last lap, now made up to about 2 tenths, almost 3. So he's slowly catching them. See how fast he's closing the gap here. See what line he's taking going in. I think most of these guys, I'm not sure how much it changes per car, but I want to say like you want to be like almost half a car length off from the bottom, if I remember correctly. Like it's not all about hugging the low line here. I think the middle line works just as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely seeing the top 2, both of them not hugging the bottom lane. And Lance Riggins, he's tried a couple of different lines. In turns 3 and 4, that last lap, he was kind of pretty much in the second groove. And yeah, it gets a little bit lower this time. But yeah, it's definitely interesting to see these guys kind of moving around, trying to figure out what works. Because, again, good practice for the main event.
Absolutely. And back here, we got a huge battle. Looks like Kyle Pendergraft there in the 14 trying to get around Cody and Jordan for that 7th place position. Meanwhile, the 54, Chris Quick battling. And now Jeffrey Goldbolt in the 92 also in this. So even with the damaged race car still staying pretty competitive, he is the car on the bubble right now, sitting in 10th place. So David Tremblay trying to make up some ground to take that position away. Is dealing with a lap car of Jarrett Widener in the 33. Actually, sorry, it's Quick. Where's Tremblay? Tremblay's in the back. Okay, I'm getting colors mixed up here. Trying to keep up with everybody. And looks like Jeffrey in the 92 is going to try and take this spot from Quick, but can't get it done, so he's going to file it back up and try again.
Yeah, meanwhile, up at the front, Alan Warnecke is pretty much running away with it now. He has opened up quite a bit of a lead. It's right at a second now. We were seeing Lance Riggins start to catch up to him, but that seems to have changed as they're running pretty similar lap times, but Warnecke definitely edging him right now.
Yeah, Lance starting to slowly come off the pace. Allen just kind of relaxing and seeing what he can do. But like I said, I think most of these guys are pretty smart. Like Brandon himself, I know he's not trying to be extremely racy. I mean, he's sitting in 3rd. He knows he's got a spot in position. Most of these guys up front are all kind of just relaxing. They're just hoping that nothing crazy happens that's going to take that position away from him.
Really, yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're in the front, you just want this thing to be green the rest of the way. Just keep your car clean and just ride into the main event. But you never know. You never know what can happen. The 10 of Lance Riggins got very tight coming off of 4. And boy, that lead now is over 2 seconds because of that. You see how quickly that lead has grown. And Alan Warnecke is just checking out right now.
Take a look at Riggins on the replay here, coming off of 4. Almost nails that wall, and that's where the gap increases right there.
And yeah, he struggled just now coming off of 4 again. So again, this is where you kind of have to try to keep your emotions in check. I mean, the competitive side of you, you want to get up there to challenge for the lead, but at the same time, you don't really get anything. You know, you're not really rewarded for finishing first rather than second. So you just kind of have to tell yourself, all right, you know, if I can keep my position, I'm in the race. I just need to chill out.
Golf ball back there in the wall, right off of 4.
Yeah, that's a hard hit too.
That was a huge hit.
Yeah, and you mentioned he was on the bubble at the time, and currently he has gone back to 12th now. So yeah, that's definitely a costly mistake for him.
Coming off of 4 right here, nails the outside.
No, he wasn't even close. I mean, that's boy, that's a tough break there. Just not even close to making that turn.
Not at all. He must have either got extremely tight or just had the wrong idea coming into the turn. Not sure what happened there, but now that's going to drop him back to 12th and put him potentially out for the feature if he can't make up some ground. So now everyone's shifting up a spot. So Stoney Benfield in the 66, the next guy on the bubble, Kyle Pendergraph, still there, not too far off, about 4/10 off of him. Pendergraph, actually one of the admins for the IROC League here, definitely wants to get into this race alongside his other pal Chris Wally, who's also one of the admins who brings this nice series together. So
and I tell you what, somebody who's going to join the mix in just a little bit is Brandon Mefford. He has gained half a second in just 2 laps. So you expect him to be up there challenging for the lead before too long. It must have been saving tires, and he's done a great job of it.
Yeah, Lance Riggins now has lost 2 spots since
yeah,
the
he's
last
back
time
to
we
4th
saw him.
now. Yeah, he is really struggling with that car right now.
So it looks like he's definitely wearing the tires off of this car. And that's the crazy thing here about Dover as well, too. It's an interesting track because most people battle with the right front and forget about the right rear. And the last thing you want is that right rear slipping, because then it just turns into a whole nother beast. And just like that, we have a caution.
And apparently the 45 of, we don't know his actual name, but in iRacing it goes by Cody and Jorgensen. So that's the 45 car, and it looks like it was between him and the 11 car of Hunter Clark. So we'll have to take a look and see what happened there.
Take a look. Oh, yeah, 45 just kind of manhandles Clark into turn 1 and sends him up the racetrack. I think Jorgensen got a pretty decent amount of damage off of that. Clark looking not terrible, not fantastic either. Let's try and get a different angle here.
Yeah, it looks like, you know, the 11 did kind of come down low on him, but at the same time, 45 definitely overshot the turn. So you know, that's just a racing incident. I mean, I think you can't really put 100% of the blame on either driver. Just an unfortunate accident there.
And these guys, of course, are racing hard for that position because those positions are going to matter to them. And looks like we have some guys coming down pit road.
And by the way, there is less than 10 minutes remaining in that 35-minute time limit. So I don't think we're going to get to all 60 laps. Currently just on lap, 38. So this next restart is going to be a bigger one than you kind of realize. You see, you know, it's easy to see the lap counter and think, oh, they've got plenty of time. But yeah, there's a time limit. So, you know, there's not going to be a whole lot of laps left.
Not at all. It's going to wind down pretty quick. Now the guys are racing against time and not necessarily against the laps here. So positioning and definitely this pit stop is going to matter the most. Hunter Clark, the one that was actually involved in that, now up into the 10th place spot. So he is going to be currently on the bubble, and luckily it looks like he had a fast repair as well. And
Jeffrey Gilbalt was definitely in the pits for quite a while, so I'm sure he was getting a lot of that damage repaired. Boy, it has been an adventure for him in this short heat race. It's going to be very interesting to see if he can, you know, overcome the adversity and make it to the main event or not.
So caution number 3 out of 60 laps. Looking pretty good. I mean, within 40 laps, 3 cautions. I don't know if I'd really count the first one too much because of just the situation, I would say. So the guy's definitely doing a decent job trying to maintain. It'll be interesting to see what happens when they throw another 10 in the mix.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the smaller field size definitely, you know, naturally it does have a lot to do with the ability to race cleaner. But yeah, I mean, you know, the fact that half the field or over half the field, you know, has that experience coming into the main race is definitely going to help out. I think these guys are going to be kind of used to the other cars being beside them and close to them. And again, it's valuable experience that you don't get in a normal practice session. You're just not usually around cars for an extended amount of time. You know, at some point somebody drives it too aggressive, they slam the wall, they spin out, and the big one happens. And you know, there's so many things can happen in a practice session. So this is definitely a good experience for these guys out here for this heat race.
Yeah, it'd be pretty interesting to see how they implement it. I know they're doing the mile-long tracks and everything else like that, but this could be like a good lesson just in general, even for drivers that might have not the greatest experience behind the wheel of these cars, who are trying to be a little bit more competitive. Maybe, hopefully we can see the league implementing something almost like a recruitment, like not really a recruitment race because they're in the league, but kind of like a what is the word I'm looking for? Oh man, it's gonna bug me all night now because I'm trying to think of it. Kind of like a help race, but that's not the word I'm looking for. I'll have to figure it out, and then we'll just come back to it. I'm having a brain fart right now.
If you know the word he's trying to come up with, just leave a comment. Leave a comment in the broadcast.
That would be great. Kind of like it just helps a development race. There we go.
Okay, there you go.
Race. Yeah.
I wasn't really sure where you were going with it, if I'm being honest. So I wanted to help you, but just didn't have anything.
A development race, I think, would be very interesting for the guys that may not have a whole lot of experience behind the wheels of these cars. I feel it'd be like a whole different series, like a Wednesday night series. But anyways, lap 41, Warnecki taking this to the green flag makes a huge gap on Ryan Medford in the 83. Behind him, Mike Harper. So we have definitely a shuffle in the top 10. Like we said before, Hunter Clark going to try and do his best to hold on to that position as he is on the bubble and definitely going to be getting a lot of Stony Benfield here in the 66. So.
Yeah, and the really interesting one, we mentioned it at the beginning of the caution, but Jeffrey Gilbalt is going to be the one to keep your eye on. He's currently in 8th, but I do believe he lost a position on this lap. Yeah, he's currently 9th and not quite up to speed as much as everybody else, so that damage taking a little bit of a toll on his car, but we will see if he can hold on to that top 10 spot and make that main event, because that would be quite an accomplishment as much as he's had to overcome in this event.
Absolutely. Jeffrey sitting up in 9th currently right now. Done a lot of work on the car. Looks good. Again, it doesn't really look like it's affecting him performance-wise. I think Clark might try to catch him here this next lap and make a move, maybe going into 3. Doesn't look like it. But if I were in Clark's shoes, I think Clark honestly has like the worst positioning as far as stress goes.
And Gilbalt definitely driving a little defensive right now, kind of closed the door right there, but oh boy, a big run on the backstretch, and he's blocking. He is blocking. He is doing all he can to hang on to that spot. Oh man, it's getting dicey here. A four car battle for the 9th spot. You know, only 2 of those will advance. So this is definitely an important part of this race.
Oh my God, both of these guys from Benfield's location. Oh, we actually have a caution
and we got a wreck.
I just saw that. Yellow comes out again. Where did he go? Was it
the
Brad?
30? It was the 32 of Brad McDaniel, and it's all by himself. You're gonna see it's all by himself. Just got loose.
I saw that out of Benfield's windshield there while we were taking a look at the battle. Let's head over here and and see what happens. It looks like he probably just gets loose off of turn 2. That's the problem area for most guys. Yeah, really whips that thing off of 2. Oh, comes right in front of Pendergraft. Oh, no.
Yeah, yes, David Trumbley.
Trumbley?
Yeah, that was Trumbley that made contact with him, and that's just I don't want to say inexperience, but it looked like he did have an opportunity to hold the brake down at the apron, tried to get it going again, and I think he got back on the throttle, and that's what caused him to spin back onto the track, and that is just not what you want to see if you're a car right behind him.
Yeah, that's some heavy damage. In this replay, it honestly looks like, let me go back just a little bit, it does sound like he gets off the throttle. Yeah, he was off the throttle the whole entire time during that. He just unfortunately could not avoid it whatsoever, and he's going to get a ton of damage on the front end of that car. Do we know if he's used a fast repair at all?
The only one that I know for sure has is Gilbalt, so not sure. McDaniel, from what I'm seeing, well, no, I have no idea. If I'm being honest,
yeah, it's
I was gonna take a look at what JRT was telling us for incident points, but right now the only driver that it shows as being involved in an incident is Hunter Clark in the 11. So I don't know why, because obviously, especially after that first caution, there were a lot of cars involved in that.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I'm not sure why it's only showing one driver being involved, but yeah, I am just not sure. He's not coming down pit road, so it looks like he's going to try to finish this one up, as we are pretty close. There's only a minute and a half remaining.
Oh yeah, no way we're going to be finishing this session here. So, and the thing that's crazy is that Jarrett, who we're looking at right now in the 33, finally got all of his laps back. He's currently going to the pits, and that's going to take a huge hit out of him because he's tied for 7th in the standings alongside Joshua Funkhauser. So if he doesn't make it into the feature, that's going to really move him away from the top 10 position he's currently holding.
Yeah, definitely frustrating when you're not necessarily in control of what's the saying? Now my brain's scrambled right now. In control of your own destiny is what I'm trying to say. That definitely makes things frustrating for you, but just a crazy opening heat to this event. Definitely an interesting one, especially for that 10th spot. I wish they could have kept it going, because man, I was really curious to see who was going to get those 2 spots. And actually, we do have a little bit more time. Race Control just announced that there's 3 minutes remaining. So I apologize for thinking that we were a little bit shorter on time than we really were, but still, not a lot of time left.
This will be interesting, because they could 10 laps left. We're looking at like what, 23-second lap times. It's going to be close. I mean, even if we stay green, I still don't think we're going to finish.
No, I don't think there's any way they're going all 60, but maybe up to lap 55 or 56, somewhere in there.
Build's going to get bunched up here on the backstretch. Alan Warnecki still up front. Alongside him, Brandon Mefford. Both of those guys doing really well points-wise coming into tonight's race. So as long as they can keep it clean here for the next, 2 minutes, then they'll have a good one. But back here where Hunter Clark's at, sitting in 10th, Cody and Jorgensen and Ken Harper looking to gain that position into tonight's race. So we'll have to keep an eye on them. Flagman Randy is ready to drop this thing, and we'll just have to see what it brings.
Yeah, I'm still going to keep my eye on this 10th spot. This is going to be so important. We're going to see how testy these guys get to end this heat.
Making sure he secures that spot down low. I actually want to focus on the back because we got 3 guys battling for 8th. Someone actually pushes.
I'll tell you what, Trumbley. Oh, we've got another. That's going to do it.
Wow, and we
Yeah,
actually watched that one unfold.
Trumbley just wasn't up to speed. There were cars right behind him, and he held the position as long as he could. But man, when all that happens, just not a whole lot you can do. And they actually kept it green. I did not realize that they kept it green. So we're gonna do a couple more laps here.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Not throwing. I think. Yeah, that's the other thing that's going to be a little bit different about these heat races too on these mile-long tracks and shorter, is that they're admin-based. So admins are the one throwing the caution. So it looks like race control was not going to throw a caution for that, probably because we're so close to the end. So that's really going to shake the fill up. And guess who gets in? Jared Wildner on the 33, who started the wreck in the beginning. Went 3 laps down, made those back, now is in 10th position.
Yeah, and it's not. Yeah, that was definitely not a dirty move by any means. I mean, Trumbley just wasn't up to speed. His car was damaged. I mean, it was very obvious. When you're racing to get in the main event, you got to stay on the throttle there. So definitely no blame on Widener. It's what you got to do. If he doesn't do that, if he gets off the throttle, he gets passed by at least 2 or 3 cars. So I just can't put any blame on him for doing that.
Oh, we'll go back there, and as you see Alan Warnecke coming across the line, taking this one home. And Jared managed to hold on. I'm sure he is completely relieved, but just like that, the session resets, and now we're going into the race. We're going to have a 5-minute warm-up before the race starts to get those guys back out there who were probably watching on the sideline. And that'll give us a little bit more time to kind of discuss everything that's going on here tonight. So 150 laps in total for tonight's race. We're going to go ahead and bring up the standings going into tonight. We actually got Brian McCann, who's won 2 races, one at Charlotte and Iowa, coming into this one the leader at 168 points. His brother Kevin McCann, who won last week's race at Lucas Oil after really just holding it tight up front amongst everybody else, going to be sitting at 152 points. Neil Quick in 3rd position. Brandon Medford, who we saw there, finished 2nd in the heat race. Coming in 4th, Mike Harper. Don't believe Mike Harper made it into tonight's race, so we'll have to check that. He's actually sitting in 5th. Chris Wally sitting in 6th. Joshua Funkhauser and Jarrett Widener, guy who just barely made it in 10th position, tied for 7th place in standings. Alan Warnecke, your winner from the heat race, in 9th. And then a 2-way tie for 10th, Evan Faust and Chris sitting at 97 points. And we're only 4 races in. So we got a long ways to go. 16 races in total to determine what the playoffs are going to look like. So plenty of time moving forward. And of course, with this series, we have to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, which are also the main reason why the series can do what it does. That's going to be R&R Racewear over at r-rracewear.com. They got high-end racing apparel and die-casts that you can pick up from their website. Loud Pedal Gaming over at facebook.com/loudpedalgaming. A simple guy who loves video games and enjoys playing them and streams them on Facebook, so give him a follow as well too. And those are going to be our 2 major sponsors for tonight's race. You'll also probably notice a couple of guys are actually going to be out of this race. We do have 3 drivers who unfortunately were dropped from the league. Brian LaFountain in the number 3, I don't believe he really raced much based off of what I was looking at points-wise. I don't know if he just joined the league and then unfortunately just never raced it, but I didn't really see any information on him. But 2 that we have seen quite a bit in the last couple of races is the number 68 of Dustin Buck. And it's interesting because for the little information we've gathered from him, he's put the work in as far as trying to build up that experience on track, but it just unfortunately, and he's been involved in so many wrecks that the league saw that as a liability and unfortunately is no longer racing. And also the number 69 of Justin Helslip, who had a little bit of a run-in last week at Lucas Oil. Unfortunately, he is no longer racing. But with that, we do gain some new drivers. And 3 of those drivers we're gaining are actually out here, minus the one that didn't finish in the heat race. We have the 08 car of Kyle Steffens. Now, he actually joined late. I wasn't sure if his scheme was going to actually load or not, and that's something Chris was talking about as well too. He got his whole setup a little late, but it looks like it is on that car and it's looking pretty good. So he is one of the new drivers coming in. We also have Chris Medford in the 46, who's actually Brandon Medford's brother. So now we got another little like squad of brother. What is the word I'm looking for? My brain today. Siblings. There we go. We got some
Again, wasn't sure where you're going.
Got some sibling action with Chris Medford and Brandon Medford. And then, unfortunately, the 69, who was in the heat race of Colt Hensley, unfortunately not making it out after that, is our 3rd new driver. So a lot of things going on in this league, a lot of changes. Looks like we got about 10 seconds left of warm-up, and then gonna get straight into the race. And it looks like, I'm wondering who else we lost, because only 15 or 25 guys are racing, and we started with 30. Oh, this is the guys from the freaking heat race.
There you go.
15 of them. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. All right. Wait for these guys to get gridded up here. And we will actually get through our starting grid in just a second.
And by the way, Race Control did just announce that iRacing will now control the cautions, so they will be thrown automatically. They will not be manually thrown.
All right, so going through tonight's grid, brought to you by R&R Racewear. In row number 1, we have Neil Quick and Jesse B. King. Row number 2, Evan Faust and Chris Medford. Row number 3, Brian McCann and Chris Wally. Row number 4, new guy, Kyle Steffens up there, up in 7th place. Alongside him, Paul Buzzle.
Oh, sorry. Where are we at? Row 5, we've got Matt Henry and Vincent Short. Row 6, Wyatt Hendrick and Joshua Funkhauser. Row 7, we've got Tim Schofield and Jimmy Frazier. And row, wow, I just lost my.
It's 8.
Jeez, I'm trying to listen to the drivers as they're talking, because apparently, iRacing is trying to get 30 cars to grid rather than just 25. So there's a little bit of confusion about who's actually in this race and who's not. But sorry. So row 8, we've got Colt Cecil and Hunter Clark.
And row 9, we got Lance Riggins and Alan Warnecke. Row 10, Brandon Mefford and Stoney Benfield. Row 11, Cody and Jorgensen and Jared Widener. Row 12, Mike Harper and David Trumbley.
And we've finishing off this field, we've got Jeffrey Gilbalt and Kyle Pendergraft. Row 14, Chris Quick and Ken Harper. And rounding out the field, I believe, is Colt Hensley and Brad McDaniel.
And that's going to do it here for your starting lineup. And just like that, green flag about to come down. And we've got 25 guys looking for a shot to connect or even advance their position in the top 10 here tonight. So Brandon McDaniel is... Ooh. And there's going to be a huge error. Let's see if iRacing can actually correct it, because they actually have Brandon McDaniel as the leader right now. And it looks like it's not going to correct it. So I'm not sure if Brandon McDaniel got like a waiver round, but for some reason it's scoring him in first right now.
I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing Neil Quick as the
Okay,
leader
good.
currently.
Yeah, it just looked over the other side. Yeah, it's like literally coming out of turn 3, it showed Brad McDaniel leading the race. I was going to say, oh no.
Now,
Luckily,
one thing that is interesting is we have 26 cars currently in the field and not 25. So that's interesting right there.
interesting indeed. I thought I saw.
And Brad McDaniel's already nearly a lap down. So interesting start to this race.
Oh man, you gotta love it here at Dover.
Oh, we've got a car wrecked. It's the 14 of Kyle Pendergraft on the front stretch going into turn 1.
Heavy damage. Looks like we're staying green
And
under this.
it was just getting loose off of turn 4 all by himself there.
Let's pull up a quick replay of him and take a look and see what we got here.
And he's coming into pit already.
And
Not a good start for him.
By himself off of 4, low line in, high line out. And the lap back end just comes around, nails that inside wall. So luckily he has a quick repair. We'll have to see if he actually uses it or not. But meanwhile,
Yeah, and Brad McDaniel came into pit too early, so I'm not sure what's going on with him. No damage at all, so I'm not sure why he's as slow as he is.
Thought I saw somebody back here getting to the wall. My eyes might be playing tricks on me. I saw a black car go really high out of turn 4. Thought it was Matt Henry in the 19. Doesn't look like it. Still looking clean, but up front.
Oh, we've got a car that just pulled. Oh my goodness! Wow.
There's some excitement
the
happening.
car 150 of Vincent Short. You might want to check this out. He pulled down to the. Okay, so he got into the wall on the front stretch, then slid down to the apron, and then came back on the track right in front of the 72 of Alan Warnecki, the winner of that heat race. So very fortunate not to have a major issue there.
Warnecki does a fantastic job getting away from that one. It bunches guys up coming off of 4, and Vincent Short doing a fantastic job not wrecking anybody there. So hats off to those guys keeping it clean. And man, we already have a lot of excitement going on, and we're only 8 laps in. Yeah,
I mean, these cars have already spread out quite a bit, and they're just all over the place right now. So this is definitely a very interesting and confusing start to this main event.
Oh God, just like that. I think I saw Matt Henry nail the wall off of turn 2. He did that time by. Has a decent amount of damage on the right side of that car in the 22 of Wyatt Hendrick right on his bumper now. Chris Waller in the 5 car up in 5th place with newcomer Kyle Steffens up in the 08 car battling behind him. Ryan McCann looking to get another win, making it 3 this series, up in 4th. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see Kevin McCann out here. Yeah, Kevin McCann nowhere to be found, who's 2nd in the points standings. We'll have to try to get word with Brian at some point and see what's going on there. That's a huge upset, honestly.
Yeah, that's the strange one there. His brother Brian McCann is here, but yeah, Kevin nowhere to be found.
Interesting. So we'll try to get more information on that and see what's going on. Meanwhile, back here for 9th and 10th, we got a big old pile. Wyatt Hendrick, another newcomer in the 22, being battled by Chris Mefford. Actually, sorry, Chris Mefford is the newcomer in the 46, battling the 22 of Wyatt Hendrick. And these guys are slicing and dicing back here.
Yeah, but this, man, I was so sure we'd have a caution by now compared to, based on what we've seen so far, but these guys have, they've spread out. There's a few clusters of cars, but they've done a nice job of being able to somehow keep it clean, because there were some very close calls early on in this race, but things have spread out.
Absolutely. Paul Cecil in this pack, almost making it 3 wide there with Matt Henry, but
yeah, and Jimmy Frazier a little frustrated with Alan Warnecki saying that he's blocking the inside, so definitely things starting to heat up a little bit here. Is Cecil trying to get a run on Warnecki, but so far hasn't been able to complete. Or excuse me, Frazier trying to get a run going. Oh, he did!
Yes, he does.
Oh my
Gives
goodness!
him the bumper run, but no, Warnecki's going to actually take out another driver, and that's going to bring out our first caution. I think Frazier just lost patience.
Yeah, that's frustrating. But yeah, I mean that's what happens. I mean, I don't know. I can see it. I can see it on both sides. I mean, Warnecki, I'm sure, is upset by that move, but at the same time, there should be some give and take. And Warnecki was not giving up the inside of the track, and that definitely gets frustrating for a driver this early in this race.
Yeah, now the league does have rules for bump and goes. They are fine as long as they stay clean. And it looks like Warnecki, will bring it up here in the replay. What I noticed, it looks like Warnecki managed to control the car from the first bump and run, and then after that, just kind of lost it and unfortunately collected. I'm not 100% sure.
It was Tim Schofield, the 12 of Tim Schofield was the one that was also involved there, and just unfortunate, wrong place, wrong time. I mean, he was through it, and then all of a sudden Warnecki just kept coming down and unfortunately clipped him. But yeah, just not a good start for these guys. It looks like Warnecki, oh, okay, he did get away. I thought he was stuck to the wall there for a second.
Let's take a look from Tim Sheffield's point of view. See what he came across here. We're right on board with him real quick. See Warnecki correcting it a little bit, comes down, and just unfortunately nails Tim Schofield there. So unfortunately, that back end just completely damaged. Can't even see anything out of it.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on Tim Schofield right now to see if he's going to take that fast repair or try to save it for later. His car is pretty damaged. I think he's going to have to take it here, but we'll find out shortly.
Jimmy Frazier making contact with Alan Warnecki there after some conversations over the radio of him blocking the low line, and Frazier just not dealing with it tonight.
And Tim Schofield did indeed take that fast repair, so that's one down.
And for some reason, the scoreboard has removed Jimmy Frazier from the race.
Well, that's interesting.
I don't know if it's due to aggressiveness or what's going on there, but Jimmy Frazier is not showing on the scoreboard right now. Looks like he is out of the race.
Yeah, that's yeah, he is not on the track anywhere, so that's an interesting turn of events there. Schofield and Warnecki did both use their fast repair, so those are two who are really going to have to try to keep it clean now.
Interesting. I was going to see if Jimmy Frazier was in Discord. It doesn't look like he's in a channel. I was going to try and bring him up and see what was going on, but unfortunately, no way to talk to him. So I think Jimmy Frazier's night's over with.
Yeah, and he did just disconnect from the server, but it's not the usual manually disconnected. It says that receive throughput fell to unacceptable level, which is typically an indication of a network issue, but that might not be the case. And he actually did just reconnect, so it might have been just a coincidence. Maybe he had a network issue there as as we were sitting here wondering if he got DQ'd or not.
Yeah, what a weird time.
So just strange timing there.
Weird time for that disconnect. So we'll see if Jimmy can get back out on the track. He's going to be scored a few laps down once he gets back out. But man, Dover's just throwing us some interesting curveballs tonight.
Yeah, definitely. This is I mean, we're already seeing fireworks early, and it's not even lap 20 yet. We still have a long way to go. So Again, I hope we don't have to sit here and worry about the fact that the time limit's 2 hours, but you just never know.
Yeah, you never know. With the heat races being a new thing here, there's no telling if the time could get jacked up and we could have a shorter race than usual. We'll just have to keep an eye on that, but hopefully the guys can keep it nice and clean here. But Quick and King, the two up front, been up front so far all day, and Quick is going to bring us to the green flag, take that inside line, block up high. We'll just stay down low, so see if King's got anything for him. Meanwhile, back here, Brian McCann, 78 of Evan Faust. Also, Kyle Steffens, the newcomer in the 08 car, trying to join that mix as well. We'll have to keep an eye on him and see how he does tonight.
Yeah, so far so good on this restart. Everybody's pretty much in single file, so good to see them get off to a clean restart.
Chris Wally here behind Steffens in that 08. Behind him he's got Colt Cecil in the 63. He's looking on the inside of him and try to make this pass. I guess his car's technically purple, so I was going to say two pink cars. Oh, 9 of Paul Buzzle. Oh no, into the wall, and 4 collects Henry. Henry spinning across the front stretch. Manages to save that and keep the caution from coming out. Interesting. Oh, almost losing control coming around the pit exit there. Take a look and see what happened there. Looked like a little bit of net code on my end. Take a look. You're going to see Cecil, or sorry, not Cecil. You're going to see Paul Buzzle in the 9 car on gold up top. He's actually going to hit the outside wall here, coming off of 4. And then coming around into Henry and just gets Henry just a tad bit loose. Does a fantastic job of saving that. He's going to come down pit road and repair some of that damage. Meanwhile, up front, Neil Quigg, Jesse King, Faust, and McCann still battling one another for some positions here. And that front row is starting to kind of bleed away from
and
the
we've got a caution. Oh my goodness, big time contact with this caution. It was the 10 of Lance Riggins and a big hit after the initial spin.
I saw his name falling really quick on the scoreboard.
Paul Buzzle was also involved there. He initially hit the wall coming off of turn, I guess it was turn 2. Yeah, turn 2.
Lance Riggins here. Let's see what he sees. Coming off of 2, Buzzle hitting an outside wall. Comes down. Ooh, kind of just clips the front end of Riggins' car and sends him for a ride. Ooh, and then gets nailed. I'm not even sure who that was. It happened so quick. Nailed by a passing car. Looks like the 4. Mike Harper.
No, actually, it was the 66 of Stoney Benfield.
Take a look. Let's see. You see Riggins up there. Smoke. Oh, yeah. Stoney Benfield definitely getting a little taste of that one.
Benfield did take the quick repair. It looks like Riggins is going to try to hang on to his. It looks like he's trying to get damage repaired. So that's one who's trying to save that fast repair for later in case he needs it again. So we'll see if that pays off.
Caution number 2 here tonight at Dover. Buzzle just trying to keep it straight coming off of the backstretch, and unfortunately Lance Riggins in the 10, just nowhere to go. Did Lance go to the pits? Yeah, he is in the pits. Okay. So yeah, like you said, he's not going to use a fast repair. It looks like probably just try to get some of that damage repaired. Smart move. I would say I would probably do the same, honestly.
Yeah, this early. Yeah, no complaints about that. I was curious to see if Paul Buzzle would go in to try to get his damage repaired. He has quite a bit of rear end damage, but he stayed out. So, you know, apparently he thinks he can still keep up to speed. So we'll see.
Right now, kind of take a look around the field here. Chris Wally's dropped some. Last time we saw him, he was up in the top 5. Now currently sitting in 8th. Paul Buzzle nailing the wall a few times. Once off of 4 and now off of 2. He's got a lot of rear end damage. See how it affects that car. I don't think aerodynamics is really too important here at Dover, but hopefully it won't loosen that thing up any more than it should. Brandon Mefford, one of the top 4 guys in the standings, currently sitting in 12th. Vincent Short, we saw earlier, having a fantastic save, sitting back in 13th. And this is one of those races that I feel like maybe sitting in the back is kind of like the go-to strategy.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. You know, if you feel that you can rely on there being a caution flag within a reasonable amount of time, absolutely. It's the people who excessively stay back to the point to where they have to worry about getting lapped. That's when you get in trouble. So yeah, I mean, as long as you can manage, you know, how far behind you are, then yeah, you're in good shape, because you want to be far enough to where even if a wreck does happen in front of you, you have enough time to react to it, to get on the brakes, not have to worry about getting run over from behind. But at the same time, you also need to make sure that you're not so far behind that you're, you know, worried about losing that lap. So if you can do that, then yeah, you're in pretty good shape until, you know, for this race, I would say that the magic number would be about 30 to go. I think at that point, you're kind of in trouble if you find yourself, you know, half a lap down or you know, whatever the case may be.
We're about 29 laps in. Haven't made a picks in quite a while. I don't think we made picks well, you weren't here with me for Lucas Oil, so we definitely didn't make any picks then. So based off of what you're seeing so far, 30 laps in, who do you have going for tonight?
I would say Neil Quick. I mean, he was. I'm pretty sure he was he was the fastest for most of practice, but I do know that Brian McCann did end up with the fastest practice time. But based on what I've seen so far, Neil Quick definitely seems to be the standard for this race.
Now, with as strong as a showing as Brian McCann has had in the last few races, coming in with 2 wins against Leader and everything else, I think if he can stay out of
Oh, we've got a
trouble,
spin. Coming down. Oh, my goodness. Oh, we've got a caution.
Let's see, Mike Harper is involved in that. Was that Cody and Jorgensen?
Yeah, Mike Harper and the 45 of Cody and Jorgensen. Just, he was spinning, or actually, so he made contact with the 92 of Jeffrey Gilbalt, and that's what started that whole thing. 92 just kind of drifted up a little bit, and just an unfortunate incident there.
So we're saying this happens with the 92. Let's take a look. You see him battling Jorgensen. Yep, gets into the quarter panel. Jorgensen. From there, Jorgensen just collects Harper in the 4. Like the 92 just kind of sending it in, couldn't make it stick.
I think we're about to see a fast repair, definitely for the 4 of Mike Harper. The other ones are a little more questionable, but yeah, Harper, it looks like he's struggling to even get through the turns at half speed right now. So he definitely has a fast repair coming for him.
And so now we're in that rough patch of where cautions are almost coming out a little too steady. So we gotta hope these guys can kind of dial it back a little bit. I know restarts are tough when you're side by side and trying to get everything situated. So hopefully these guys can get refocused and back in it. But looks like Jimmy Fraser is on the track, currently 3 laps down now. So we'll have to see if he can make his way back to the field after the unfortunate disconnect. Jeffrey making contact. Going to go through Colt Cecil up to 5th place. He was actually back there for quite a while in the beginning of the race now, and he's finding himself in the top 5. Newcomer Kyle Steffens in the 08 again, pretty much stayed up front the whole night, sitting in 6th.
And so far, based on what I've seen so far, we do have 5 drivers who for sure have taken their fast repair. Schofield, Warnecki, Benfield, Harper, and Jorgensen have all used their fast repairs. I don't believe anybody else has, but I don't know that for sure. So that is an unofficial statistic right there. So just keep that in mind.
Trying to get these cautions written down so I can take a look at them. Meanwhile, let's see who else is making some moves up here in the field. Joshua Funkhauser up in 9th. Someone we don't talk about too much. He's actually tied in 7th with Jared Widener for points. I think Widener's just a little bit behind him, sitting in 12th. So again, just trying to keep it clean, trying to make it to these first laps. I mean, these first pit stops. They have 2 sets of tires. Now, I think when they do the 2 sets, it's always the set that comes with the car and then the extra set with it. So with that type of mindset, when we try to go through pit strategy and what ends up happening, the guys are running at 100% fuel. So fuel's not really the big concern here. It's trying to go as long as you can on the tires you have to use that second set. And most of those guys typically aim for 50% of the way through the race.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, it's always a gamble because it can come back to haunt you, because at a certain point, you have to consider your track position over new tires. I mean, new tires are obviously quicker, but they only get you so far, because you don't want to have to pass people in a lane that you're not used to, because at that point, you end up burning that amount of tires that you would have ended up with if you had just stayed out. So there is a fine line between, again, it's the law of diminishing returns, to where even those new tires don't really guarantee you, a shot at getting back to where you were originally had you stayed on the old tires. So, it just depends on how these cautions work out. And, it's all about it's really a gamble. It really is a gamble, but sometimes it works out great for you, and other times it comes back to haunt you.
Guys are getting ready to be released. Pace car is in. Quick King still up front. Not a whole lot of changes here. Quick on the draw. You see what I did there? Coming to the restarts every time. So let's see if he can continue that with King on the outside. Looks like he gets a great restart going into turn 1. And just like that, Quick is going to take control of this race once again. See Brian McCann back here fighting with Colt Cecil and Faust in the 78. Kyle Stuffins alongside Chris Wally there. And it seems like the front pack does a really good job of getting single file pretty quick.
Yeah, really the whole field's done a nice job of that so far for these restarts. We've not seen the jumbled mess that was the opening lap of the heat race. But yeah, I mean, these guys have done a good job. They understand, you're not going to win it on the first lap, or, even 36 laps into this race. There's still a lot of racing left. So, they try to get separated quickly, and, that's definitely the right move this early in the event.
And Joshua Funkhauser finding himself in between the Mefford sandwich of Chris and Brandon there. Let's see if he can get around Chris here and get away from Brandon, try to gain some of those points in the standings. But yeah, he's got a big race on his hands right now for the 9th place position. Meanwhile, back up front, we got Colt Cecil joining this battle with Jesse King, now battling for that 2nd place position, which is going to really give Quick an advantage here if they can continue to battle each other and Quick can get away from these guys. and pull ahead even further than he is.
Yeah, we're not seeing Brian McCann as dominant as he was, as he has been this season. Currently in 5th place, but definitely having times actually a little bit faster than the leader currently. So if he can get around these top 5 cars, then he has a chance to get up there for the lead.
Yeah, both McCann and Chris Wally. Chris Wally actually the fastest right now in the top 6 cars, running 23.2. And even now, pretty much in line with everybody. Jesse King running the slowest one with 24.1, compared to almost a whole second slower than the top 5.
And we did see Chris Quick coming back onto the track. It looks like he had a network issue based on him disconnecting and reconnecting to the server. So an unfortunate issue for him there. Currently being shown as dead last, 8 laps down. So big time issues for him.
Cole Cecil in the 63 making a huge run on Quick right now in turns 3 and 4. Hopefully can gain some of that momentum out of the turn. Might be able to get him going to 1. And Quick just kind of keeping it there. Not necessarily taking the full bottom away, but leaving at least more than half, or a little less than half a car lead from the bottom, so Cecil can't really make too much of a move. And if he does, there's a good chance he's going to clip Quick and send him for a ride.
Loose off of close right there. Almost took both of them out.
It looks like he's actually going to get a run even after coming loose off of that turn. He's still got something left on his tires. I mean, these guys up in the top 13, 43 laps in their tires. So Cecil managing and doing a great job getting around Quick. And now Faust in the 78 looking to battle Quick as he's going to go to the inside coming to turn 1.
Yeah, meanwhile, take a look at 4th on back. Just a jumbled mess right now of cars. This is definitely going to be interesting to see if these guys can keep off of each other or not.
Yeah, McCann now dropping all the way back to 10th, which is a place we don't see him very often. Oh, we got a car. I just saw a car stop.
Oh, he's trying to keep it. He's going back up. It looks like he was able to keep it going. Wow, that could have been a mess there. As I believe it was the 5 of Chris Wally.
Let's take a look. We're still.
But actually, yeah, you're right. There was another car that did end up spinning. It was Cody and Jorgensen. He hit the tire, the barrels, and the pit entrance.
And you know what? I'm actually going to start this replay over. That's what caused Wally to nail the outside wall. You're going to see Jorgensen down low right here. Once they come off of 3, you see Wally, and then right below Wally here, there's Jorgensen. Wally almost clips the rear end and sends him up the track into 4.
Oh my
and
goodness!
Nails the wall hard.
Yeah, that's a hard hit there. Yeah, Jorgensen was coming into pit and just overshot it a little bit, went right into those barrels, and yeah, that caused issues there. So very unfortunate for him. And we mentioned it earlier, Jorgensen has used his fast repair, and he is currently being shown without a front bumper. So he is his chances of winning are pretty much gone at this point. Currently 25th and 4 laps down. So a frustrating day for him.
And while we were watching that, it looks like Quick was overtaken by Evan Faust, now up into 2nd. Quick down to 3rd. Chris Medford, newcomer here with Brandon Medford, his brother, right behind him in the 83. Now looking to make some moves on Quick. Also in that mix, Kyle Steffens, newcomer in the 08, doing a fantastic job. Been pretty much quiet through the whole night. Been up in the top 10 the whole race. We'll have to see if he's got anything left in those tires to make a run for first. But right now, it's a Colt Cecil show.
And Chris Wally's having big time issues right now. He just got really loose in the turn. His left front tire looks like it's about ready to come off. So that contact to the wall did him a lot of damage.
And it's rough too. He's had a great night sitting up front too, and Chris Wally just seems to be the man that's just unfortunate events gets into things that he just really doesn't have too much control over, and that one being with Cody and Jorgensen knowing the barrels going into the pit entrance. When you see that in a track like you're racing and you're focused on your line, and all of a sudden you see a car down low and half of his bumpers in the turn in your racing one. There's just unfortunately not much you can do. So he still has a quick repair left, and maybe he can manage that at some point and get back up into racing shape. But back up front, we're going to actually have a battle here between Quick and Medford. So Chris and Brandon both getting around Medford, or sorry, Quick, and Quick is starting to drop back now.
And during that sequence, we should have had a caution. It was just about to happen, but luckily they were able to hold on to it. There were a couple of cars 3 wide. Jarrett Wiedner was in a whole lot of trouble, but fortunately they were able to keep it going, and that was about 3 laps ago. But yeah, it was quite a mess there for a moment.
Yeah, I'm starting to think Quick's tires might be getting to that point where they're just not really, he's not really being able to dig as much as Kyle is gaining some on him going into turns 1 and 3. Quick getting a little loose off of 4. Let's see if Kyle is going to try and take it here, or if he's just going to stay snug in that 6th place position. Back up front, Evan Faust now battling Colt Cecil for that spot. He's going to try and take it here going into 3, coming out of 4. Definitely overtakes him, and Chris Medford now on the bumper of Cecil.
Yeah, and Cecil is actually giving up these positions voluntarily, trying to let his tires cool off a little bit. So yeah, he definitely burned through those tires.
And now Brandon Medford looking to gain a spot as well too, while Cole Cecil figures out what he wants to do. Colt's going to let him have that position as well and drop him back to 4th. And I think the train is over with.
Oh, he actually got into the wall there on the straightaway. So yeah, and that does happen. That's happened to me as well. You try to do the right thing. You try to stay up high so that the cars can kind of get below you, and you end up getting in trouble because of it. You end up hitting the wall. That has happened to me before, and it's definitely very frustrating when it does happen.
Ryan McCann starting to make his way up front, maybe just saving tires, because he's made his way around Quick pretty impressively, and he's besides Brandon Medford running 24.10s, he's at a 24.17, so he's the 2nd fastest guy in the top 10 right now. So I think tire saving was kind of his plan, and now he's starting to let it loose. This is going to be working with Kyle Steffens in the 08 going into turn 1.
And by the way, Neil Quick did hit the wall as well about a lap ago, so a little bit of right side damage for him. Nothing too bad, but definitely something to keep an eye on.
You see Ryan McCann just on that bumper of Kyle Steffens, going to get alongside him off of 4. Oh, Kyle almost nailing that outside wall, manages to keep it off of it, and Brandon McCann is going to, or Brian McCann, sorry, is going to gain that spot up in the top 5.
Oh, we've got a spin and a caution and several cars involved, including the 10 of Lance Riggins. He is the main one stalled on the track currently, but yeah, that one was just kind of going, and finally a car came around. It was between him and the 9 car of Paul Buzzle. It was really a very slow spin and just kind of finally went around.
Might be Riggins getting some payback here. Take a look here between the 9 and the 10 to go into turn 3. Riggins just right on the quarter panel, sends him for a spin, and Riggins not able to get off of him. Going to go up and nail the outside wall. Luckily nobody else involved, but you remember last caution, Buzzle, sorry, 2 cautions ago now, Buzzle making contact with Riggins, really messing up Riggins' car. Now looks like it's the other way around.
Yeah, we'll try to keep an eye on these 2 cars to see if any of them use a fast repair. But yeah, just frustration there. I don't think there was payback. I mean, it looked to me like a racing incident, and Riggins did take responsibility just now in the voice chat and apologize. So I don't think there was any payback that time. But yeah, just frustrating. I think Riggins is more upset at himself because he had an opportunity to keep the car off the wall, and I think he got back on the throttle just a little bit too quick and ended up slamming that outside wall. So definitely frustrating for him.
That's going to bring out caution number 4. Honestly, a good pacing, I would say. Right now, we had a long green flag stint, so I would be surprised if guys don't make pit stops now. I do see some guys coming in. Brian McDavid looks like he is off. So it looks like the top runners here. Brandon Medford came in. Colt Cecil also looked like he came in. So it looks like the guys that are up front coming in for most likely tires and fuel.
Yeah, we have a couple of cars coming down. The top looks like 4 of the top 5 are staying out. Riggins did come in just now, so we'll see if he gets a fast repair. I don't think he will. The car's not too badly damaged. It honestly should be. He hit the wall pretty hard there, but he might try to let this car repair and see if it can keep up the speed.
The short up there, most likely gonna get a lap back. Lance Riggins now a lap down on that one. And doesn't look like Short is going to get a lap back, so it's going to give us 20 cars on the lead lap, Buzzle being the last one on the lead lap currently. And that's going to put Alan Warnecke up into first, alongside Evan Faust. So Warnecke,
And yeah, Paul, I can tell you, Paul Buzzle did not take the fast repair either, so both of them trying to hang on to it.
like Warnecke finally making his way back up front. Won the heat race here tonight, that 60 lapper, so was able to get into the feature that way. Has been in the back of the field pretty much the whole night, kind of dodging some wrecks as well too, but now he doesn't have that to worry about. He's got nothing but clean air in front of him. Evan Faust in the 78, another one we don't talk too much about, currently sitting in second. Chris Medford, one of the new guys here in the 46, trying to make a point up into third place. Colt Cecil there on the outside of him in the 63. Brandon Medford in the 83 right behind his brother as well. Brian McCann now back up into 6th. We saw him fall back kind of in the top 10, almost 11th, and then we saw him slowly start to gain. So we're thinking that his plan is saving tires and really pushing in those long runs.
And I'll tell you what, speaking of saving tires, this could be a rough restart. Alan Warnecke is on 46 lap tires. Everybody else behind him all the way down to 18th has brand new tires. So this could be dicey.
Yeah, we're going to keep a camera on Warnecke here, coming to the restart to see what happens. But typically, you know, the strategy sometimes works, but when the whole field takes tires, there's no strategy at the end of the day there. Now it's survival, and let's just hope that he doesn't cause a huge pileup on this restart.
Yeah, I mean, that's the main thing. It does look like he got off to a good start there, so that's good to see. But yeah, I mean, you're going to see these guys go right through him pretty quickly here.
I think Warnecke is just going to try and see how much of the gap he can create between him and Faust, but I don't think that gap is going to last very long unless they get racy back here. Which, again, the top runners seem to do a good job of just kind of getting in line and racing to the front. So I don't think Warnecke is going to be in the lead for much longer.
Yeah, he's done a good job so far, but yeah, you're seeing that gap shrink very, very quickly. But so far he's able to keep it clean. Oh my goodness. Almost had an incident there as Colt Cecil is now trying to join the fight for the lead. They're 3 wide.
And he's making contact with Warnecke.
Oh my goodness.
Luckily that doesn't send anyone into the wall. Warnecke being able to recover from that, but Cecil, not the smartest move.
Well, I mean, it looked to me like Warnecke came down on Cecil. I don't think there was much Cecil could do right there. Just with those old tires, it's difficult to keep the car controlled. You know, your tires are just kind of slipping and sliding all over the place, and I think that's what happened there.
Oh, he gets in the wall right there, and it's going to bring them.
And we got a wreck.
Oh, and Kyle Steffens, newcomer in the 08, is going to take the brunt of that yellow out once again. And Kyle's left front is in the pavement. Like, it is digging right now.
And what? Okay, there goes the. So on your screen, the cone is off of his car. On my screen, the cone is stuck in his front bumper. So I wish I could show this to you, but unfortunately, it's not happening. But yeah, I am seeing the cone stuck on Kyle Steffens' front bumper.
I'm seeing his left front tire. I mean, this is a crappy angle, but that left front tire is like digging into that concrete there. So yeah, he's gonna have to wheel her back to the pits. But meanwhile, let's take a look at the replay. We kind of saw it unfold there with Warnecki. I think King might have gotten involved in this one as well too. A little blimp cam here. You're going to see King on the 55 red car right behind the 08 orange car of Steffens. Warnecki again on the older tires. Gets and collects the wall. Steffen tries to go down low, doesn't realize King is there, and unfortunately he's going to cut the nose on him. And that's going to cause it. And that's where he collects the cone of shame.
Yeah, I think we'll see a quick repair here for Kyle Steffens. I don't know if we'll see it for anybody else. That'll be interesting to try to keep track of, as we do have a car with the hood sticking up currently, so that's going to be difficult to drive with.
And we'll take one more look at this. I kind of want to see it from Jesse's side of things. Steffen unfortunately had nowhere to go and just gets right in front of King, and King, obviously the last thing he wants to do is take somebody out. So just a rough one here with Steffens, unfortunately. Not much you can do there. So it's going to bring out caution number 5 for us. Evan Faust, our leader. Diesel behind him. And while we do that, I'm going to get these cautions settled away real quick. I'm pretty sure Warnecki already regretting the decision of staying out.
Yeah, he ended up, I mean, he did hit the wall, but he was actually able to kind of hold his position after that spin. So he actually didn't end up getting too bad of a break there, but yeah, a lot of drivers did pay the price for that decision to stay out.
And now these guys are going to, obviously we're not going to have many people pitting, I would hope, after that. Warnecki's going to go in. I'm sure he does.
I don't know. I would think that he would have gone in already.
Yeah, I guess he's really just going to try and push those tires as far as he can, but I don't know. I mean, how far is too far? Jimmy Frazier still 3 laps down. Unfortunately, that disconnect is not helping him out. Chris Wally, he still hasn't used any sort of fast repair, so I'm not sure if he's been coming down pit road to fix up some of that car that he had there. But up in 12th, so actually not doing too bad for where he's at. Joshua Funkhauser in the 15 up into 8th. Tim Schofield in the 12 car, who had quite a hard time trying to get into the race, up into 10th currently. And it'll be interesting to see if we can get Neil Quick back up to the front. Been up there pretty much the whole night. Lost a couple of positions, sitting back in 6. Up there with Brian McCann. So this top 5, I mean, these top 5 guys are really quick.
Yeah, and the car that really I'm kind of surprised he hasn't taken the fast repair yet is Paul Buzzle. His left front and the rear end of his car are in pretty rough shape. So it's I'm wondering if he's able to keep up the speed or if he's just trying to hang on and keep that car in one piece right now.
Yeah, Buzzle getting into the wall a couple of times throughout the night. Made contact with the number 10 of Lance Riggins about 4 cautions ago. Lance Riggins coming back to him. Not sure if it was more of a retaliation, but Lance hasn't really been up there. He's up into 20th right now, behind a really damaged car of the 45. Oh yeah, Cody and Jorgensen. So Cody not having a great night here either.
Yeah, and again, he has used his quick repair already, so he's just got to try to nurse that car, get as many positions as he can, but right now showing 25th spot, so not a fun day for him right now.
Oh, those barrels are not nice coming into pit road. And pit road
No,
at this
no.
track is tough.
It is, definitely. We saw that for those who remember, Matt Kenseth back in the early 2000s slammed. He had a difficult job. He didn't actually hit the barrels at the entrance, but he slid going into pit road and ended up they had a tire wall, and he just absolutely slammed into them. So yeah, definitely pit road here, very difficult to get onto.
Green flag once again out here, lap 73 at Dover, and Faust bringing the group to that flag coming into trouble. Chris Cecil, Chris Medford battling for that second place position. Brandon Medford behind him, quick, trying to get something to happen. Now Cecil going to be making a move on Faust in the 78, going into turn 3 and 4. Going to try and clear Faust, most likely going to give that away, but comes down on Medford in the 46, who had a run coming off at 4, and that's going to give Quick in the 2-car an opportunity to get on that high side, but not much happening there, and we're going to see it. Now Brian McCann kind of in line. Joshua Funkhauser looking to make some moves. Warnecke back up there in the 8th. Going to have to keep an eye on him, as he's the only guy with the oldest tires, 57 laps in. Has not changed them bad boys out. Let's hope he can continue to stay out. But just like that, another caution.
That's going to be the 150 of Vincent Short. He tapped the wall coming off of turn 2. Kind of came back down a little bit, and the 66 of Stoney Benfield got into the back of him and sent him around. So another caution. That one didn't take long, but the really interesting ride was actually Cody and Jorgensen. He's had a rough night, but actually got a little bit of a break there. He was able to get in between both of those cars. That would be worth an in-car view, because that definitely was not an easy one to avoid.
Benfield looked like he just Short had contact on the outside wall at the backstretch, but then kind of maintained it, and then Benfield, like a bat out of hell, just kind of gets on the bumper Short and kind of sends him for a ride there. But go on board with Cody and Jorgensen in that beat up number 45. See how he manages to get through this one.
That's a scary ride right there. Fortunately, yeah. Good job by him to know to go up after getting to the inside of the first car, and yeah, that's a nice job of avoiding a wreck right there.
I'm gonna go on board with Stoney Benfield too, because like I said, he kind of just sends it. But we'll have to see from his point of view where Short was at the time.
Short hit the wall right there, and yeah, you see how much he checked up and kind of came down right in front of him. So yeah, definitely no fault on Benfield, just wrong place, wrong time there.
Yeah, and when you look at it from an in-car view, it really brings the perspective together for a lot of people that might be watching at home too, because a lot of these camera angles makes it look like something completely different happening than what actually is going on. So nice to see it from different perspectives there. So Short doesn't look like he has a whole lot of damage. Benfield, decent amount of damage on the front end. He's going to try and bring it in for some repairs. Not going to use that quick repair. Don't know if he's used his.
He has.
Okay, so unfortunately he's going to have to try his best to repair everything under caution. And let's take a look at Vincent, see where he's at. Like he's just now getting on the pit road.
Yeah, his I was gonna say Vincent's car is kind of leaning left a little bit, so I think we're gonna see him with a quick repair. I don't believe he's taken one yet, and never mind. He's going to try to get it repaired.
Scored 2 laps down right now. So he'll probably stay and try to repair as much as he can. And that's not really going to do a whole lot up front. It's not going to really change anything up front. Alan Warnecki is still out. Now 60 laps on those tires. Looked like he was peeking to the apron there for just a second. Doesn't look like he's going to take it, and he's going to continue to stay out. I guess he just, I guess if you're in Warnecki's position, you're in 9th. He's been doing a pretty good job, even though he's made contact a couple of times. You got to kind of give it to him. 61 laps in on old tires, while the whole field around you is only 17, 18 laps in on their set. That's pretty good. I think the strategy there is just letting the other guys wear it out to the point where when he goes in, there's no chance the guys are going to catch him.
Yeah, he's. This will sound strange, but he's either in great shape or he's in horrible shape, because he has come into pit once. I'm assuming it was to either top off or get a little bit of damage repaired. I can't imagine that he would have gotten tires that early. His stop was 15.2 seconds, which that's right in line for your stop for a 4-tire stop. But I can't imagine he took tires there. So I don't know. That's interesting, because that, again, 15.2 seconds, that's right along the line with everybody else who came into pit 18 laps ago. So I don't know. That's an interesting number.
It's true, looking at everybody here averaging out about 14-second pit stops. So be weird if he took them so early. But green flag again here at Dover, 79 laps in. Cole Cecil bringing the guys to the flag. Chris Medford trying to get his first win of the series and first race of the series, as he's a newcomer in tonight's race, making a huge statement right now amongst these other guys. But Evan Faust going to try and work on him to take that position away, and we got a battle back here for 5th with Brian McCann and Brandon Medford. And Joshua Funkhauser just kind of relaxing in 15, waiting to see what happens. But even with Warnecki being on 63 lap tires, he's still maintaining pace. Look at these guys. He's actually kind of quick right now.
Yeah, I think the technology in those tires have changed a lot in 63 years, but I digress.
Oh man, and the 33 of Jarrett Wiedner right by him. I'm gonna go back up front, see if anyone's battling Colt. Doesn't look like it. He's kind of just taking it away, almost a whole second now on Evan Faust. Real quick, see how he's doing as he's trying to maintain the master mile here. It's weird seeing Quick kind of struggle, like doing so well and staying on pole for pretty much the entirety of the race, and now ever since he's dropped back, it's almost like it's been kind of tough to get back up front.
Yeah, remember, he did hit the wall, so you wonder if maybe that is having an effect on his car. The right side is definitely flattened much more than the left side, so I'm wondering if maybe aerodynamics are kind of hurting him right now.
McCann trying to take the position away from Chris Medford. And he's going to do that. His brother now, Brandon Medford, looking on the inside, but not going to take it. It's going to just fall back in line. And it makes you wonder, we talked to Brian McCann and Kevin McCann, and they seem to help each other out during races. You kind of want to know what it's like with Chris Medford and Brandon Medford and how much they help each other throughout the races as well, too. When do they drop the gloves and fight for the position, and how long do they stay kind of bunched up together?
Yeah, you never want to have that Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch relationship, because they're some of the most intensive guys out there. But Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that they help each other to some extent. Me with my brother, we both race on iRacing, and we try to help out each other when he can. He gets a little impatient with me sometimes, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely I'm sure that they do help each other out to some extent.
And someone who was involved in an incident.
As we do have a caution.
Oh, I was going to say Mike Harper in the up in the 14th now. But yeah, yellow out for the 7th time here tonight.
Oh, this was a big one. Chris Wally was involved, and he got loose. He actually hit the apron and came back up the track in the 22 of Wyatt Hendrick. Those were the two involved. Oh, this is going to be a fun one. So when you see this replay, it's going to be a fun one to watch.
Let's go ahead and roll this replay up. Looking at the 5-car Chris Wally here. Go ahead and do a blimp view. Gets loose off of 2, collects the 22. Oh my God.
Told you it'd be a fun one.
22 just doing a straight up flip.
And that took him right out of the server. He disconnected. So
God. That hit was so hard. He somehow lost connection. That's crazy.
It does say manually disconnected, so I think he decided that his car was done.
Yeah, he alt F4'd out of that real quick. Let's see if we can actually get right on board with the 22 White Hendrick. Go ahead and get your barf bags, because this is going to be a crazy ride here. See Wally in the pink car get loose, comes up, just boom. And just like that, Wyatt Hendrick went from a race car driver to a professional gymnast.
Chris Wally did just take his quick repair, so that is 7 drivers that we know for sure have taken their quick repair. I'll go over that again real quick. It's Schofield, Warnecki, Benfield, Harper, Jorgensen, Steffens, and now Wally. So 7 for sure. There might be a few others mixed in there, but haven't seen those. Actually, it's possible that Vincent Short, I believe he got his damage repaired during the last caution, but his car looks pretty much brand new now, so I'm wondering if he ended up taking that fast repair anyway.
And which car was that one?
That is the 150.
Oh, Vincent Short, I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, his car's looking good. The damage-wise wasn't too bad. I think Stoney Benfield in the 66 got the kind of the brunt of that damage, so Short was probably able to maintain most of that under caution. Take a look at Benfield. Yeah, Benfield's still in the pits trying to repair as much damage as he can on that number 66.
You might be on a replay. I'm seeing him on the track.
My bad. You're absolutely right. Thank you for that. He is absolutely on the track, and yeah.
Yeah, he did use his fast repair, so yeah, he's the front end and the back end both a bit dented up, so he's trying to just keep that car together right now. Doesn't look like he's too far damaged. There might not be any engine damage, but you just never know. So
yeah,
we'll just have to see.
Is looking pretty rough for him. Vincent Short, like you said, looking pretty clean. Chris Wally took his quick repair. Pretty smart, because he was involved in a couple of incidents now, so we're more than halfway through the race, so he's just gotta keep it clean. And I'm surprised Cody in that 45, who barely has much left of the front end of that car. Let's see, can he even see over that thing? I mean, that's kind of interesting. Let's see from the cockpit. Yeah, he can definitely see over that. So I'm surprised he's able to maintain something out there.
Yeah, I noticed on the last restart, he's definitely not up to speed. So he's not going to be competing for a top 10 or anything really even close to that. Currently in 25th position, and he's 18 laps down. So yeah, definitely not competing for much. But at the same time, Jimmy Frazier, who is disconnected currently, is just 1 lap ahead of him. So that is one spot he will be able to make up. And then we've been saying I think we've been saying, or at least I've been saying Wyatt Hendrick. It's actually Wyatt Hedrick. So he disconnected after that last crash, and so that's 2 positions he's going to be able to make up.
Nice. So yeah, it looks like Jimmy Fraser still having connection issues. Going to be out of the race for the rest of the night here. So that's going to put 20 cars on the lead lap out of our starting field of 26. But Colt Cecil, the man rocking it here at Dover in that pink number 63, gets another fantastic restart on.
And we've got a big one coming off of turn, or in the middle of turn 4. Tim Schofield's monitor died, and that's what happens when a driver cannot see.
Jeez, monitor cuts off completely. Oof, could you imagine?
No, it did happen to me one time, but luckily it was during a caution, and so all I had to do was pull over to the bottom of the track. But yeah, it's definitely frustrating when your monitor just all of a sudden shuts off and you can't see anything.
And that's just the unfortunate truth when it comes to virtual racing. You never know what's going to happen. It's not only on the track, but also off the track and in your own personal build. So we're going to see Tim Schofield over the 12. Actually, looks like he got some help from McDaniel in the 32 as well too, and then just collects Harper, collects it looks like, who's that, Buzzle. We got the 150 Vincent in there. Wally, unfortunately, another victim that's in there as well too.
Yeah, and you know, it's easy to laugh at. You know, if you're a casual, you know, racing fan that sits here and watches these virtual races, you know, it's kind of fun to laugh at. But at the same time, virtual racing has its own set of obstacles. I mean, in real life racing, you don't have to worry about, you know, your windshield going black all of a sudden. So, you know, there's definitely, you know, the obstacles that iRacing can't mimic. It responds with its own set of challenges, and so that's what you're seeing right there. I mean, anything can happen. You know, your pedals can break. You know, your wheel can lose connection to your computer. I mean, there's just so many different things that can happen, and really it stays on your mind, especially if you've had an issue in recent you know, weeks or whatever, you know, days, weeks, whatever it is. You always think, you know, could this one thing go wrong? Because all it takes is one little thing, a driver issue, just anything, and you know, your race can be ruined just like that. So just very unfortunate.
Man, Chris Wally just getting a front row seat to that. Doesn't look like he took any damage whatsoever. It's almost like he knew that the caution was happening, or was going to happen, because he let off well before he even saw smoke. And then as soon as he saw smoke, completely let off the gas.
Yeah, when somebody says their monitor shut off, yeah, you know there's trouble that's about to happen. So I think that it was a good job by Tim Schofield to quickly say, hey, I can't see, because, you know, for those of you who might not normally be on iRacing, you can't just pause and get off. You can't get out of the car until your car comes to a complete stop. So it's not as easy as just quickly clicking a button to get out. I guess you can technically, what is it, Alt F10 or whatever it is that okay, Alt F4, that closes out the game. But even then, your car's still going to be out on the track for a couple of seconds until you do, you know, until it registers that you have disconnected from the server. So you know, all you can do at that point, it's a pretty helpless feeling. You just have to say, hey guys, my monitors, you know, I can't see, and just hope for the best. Basically, you just, for those of you who pray, that's what you do.
Absolutely, and like you said, virtual racing has taken off so well. I mean, racing in general, especially during times now with COVID, early on, I mean, iRacing was popping back in March to, like, honestly, what, July? September, July, yeah, about July, August. I mean, there were people broadcasting races left and right. Broadcasting was getting extremely entertaining. A lot of different people kind of like dipping their toes in different styles of league racing, and then we had the old school cars coming out, V6 coming out as well too, and that definitely refreshed the field a lot. And I mean, man, it's insane what iRacing has done during COVID times for sure. I mean, we've even had like straight up NASCAR races in iRacing because they couldn't physically race at tracks.
Right, right. And I believe at one point iRacing did get up to number 9 for live broadcasts on Twitch, which might not sound that great, but compared to all the games out there, I mean, you've got, the different versions of Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto. I mean, you've got all these games, CS:GO. I mean, I could just go on and on. That is crazy for a racing simulation to be number 9 in broadcasts on Twitch. So that was definitely a huge deal, and that just shows you how big the iRacing craze got for a while.
Absolutely. It gave people opportunities who didn't know what iRacing was to actually get a chance to take a look, and so many newcomers coming onto the servers and everything else. It's nice to see. So
yeah, I mean, when a G27 steering wheel was worth going for $700 or $800 on Amazon, it kind of made me think, well, maybe I want to sell mine.
Racing here, getting 97 laps in. Cole Cecil still up front. Nobody's been able to take that position away from him. Oh, and Neil Quick getting loose off of 4 right there. Going to open the door for McCann, but he's on the high side, not going to really last much longer. Evan Faust dropping all the way back to 6. Did lead a few laps here early on in the race. Now trying to get around Chris Medford in the 46, who's still doing a great job of staying up front and staying out of trouble. But his brother Brandon Medford up in the 83, finally in second, trying to do something here with Cole Cecil.
Yeah, big single file line from pretty much the top 10 all the way back to 15th. We're still going back. Everybody's single file right now, so good to see as we're starting to get fairly late in this race. Just over 50 laps remaining, and yeah, starting to see. I think the big part of this race now is going to be those tires. Who has saved the most? We still have Alan Warnecki out there, whose tires are 83 and a half laps old. Now that does include caution laps, so they're not true. Those aren't 83 green flag laps, but still, that's a lot of laps on those old tires.
Yeah, and we still don't know as he hits the outside wall of the 4, and Paul Buzzle again making contact with the outside wall of 4 too, kind of follows suit with Alan Warnecki. Right as we say that, yeah, again, we haven't gotten confirmation if he took tires and if he's on his last set, but it's starting to make sense now. Maybe he did take the tires, and this is the only set he has. But, I mean, if that were the case, he did it so early.
I think that when the next caution comes out, we're going to get our answer. If he comes in and gets tires, then we know, okay, he was saving them for as late as he could, because that's going to be that. Yeah, I saw that. That's going to be where that window is, to where if you get too late into the race, then even new tires isn't really going to gain you a whole lot of positions compared to where you were prior. So you want there to be enough laps to where you have time to get back up there. And that's going to tell us, I think, whether Warnecki does have a set of tires remaining or not.
And one guy that's been finally fighting his way up front, Brian McCann in the 1 car, now up to 4th place. Kind of hung back for most of the race, but now he's looking to get some TV time. Working on Neil Quick in the 2, who's slowly starting to get back up there. We're not sure if any of the damage he had on the right side of that car is affecting the handling, but ever since he's hit the wall, he hasn't really been the same, but still managing a top 3 position right now. So McCann up to 4th, trying to get something done. And Chris Medford about to have a handful with Evan Faust here in the 78 on the backstretch. Now going to try and take the spot away, but Chris is still there. Going to close the door on him coming off of 4. And look, that Kyle, I forgot about Kyle Steffens, got into an accident early on. Used that quick repair, now up to 8th spot, so still has plenty of time to get back up front and get something started with this 08 car.
Yeah, currently looking at the last lap, Jarrett Wiedner in the 33 car riding 9th had the fastest lap at 23.417, but everybody's pretty close. Alan Warnecki is about half a second off of that fastest lap, so those tires definitely having an impact on him. His last lap was at 23.9. And I was looking at him earlier. He is definitely struggling with that car right now. So, you know, he is just trying to hang on for dear life right now.
And we got a little battle from 14th to 17th. Paul Buzzle in the mix, Kyle Pendergraft in the 14, Chris Wally in the 5. Buzzle right there. Looked like he might have collected the wall again coming off.
And we actually just had a lead change. Colt Cecil doing the exact same thing from before, trying to get those tires to cool. But there is a train of cars. He went from 1st to 5th in 1 lap and is in danger. It looks like he's going to give up 5th place as well. So Colt Cecil really trying to cool down those tires, but giving up a lot of positions in doing so.
Yeah, just like that, dropping all the way from 1st to 6th. And I mean, depending on what's going on, I don't know. I mean, I guess it really just matters where you're at when you're up there. And the last thing you need is your tires to overheat. You start losing the grip. The track is already loose as it is. So as long as he knows he can get back up there, the strategy might pay off. But so far, we've done pretty good since our last caution. We're about 40 laps away from the finish. We still haven't seen.
And we've got a caution.
All right, never mind. I was gonna say we still haven't seen Warnecke come in, so now this is the moment of truth. Oh, I see 92.
Yeah, it looks like Jeffrey Gilbalt and the 32 of Brad McDaniel were the 2 involved in that one. A little bit of a disagreement as to who caused it.
Well, I guess we'll settle that debate right here. Take a look from blimp view to see the 32 of McDaniel and the 92 there. Okay, 92 hits the wall in the backstretch. It's kind of tough.
It kind of goes both ways. One came down just a little bit as the other was going up, and so, yeah, just you can kind of make an argument for both guys there. McDaniel clearly was trying to pass him low, but he did go up the track just a little bit there. So, yeah, just an unfortunate incident there. But yeah, I mean, that doesn't make either of these guys feel any better about the other.
Yeah, Gilbolt looked like he got a little loose. I mean, just a tad. And McDaniel was there. I think this is more chalked up to a racing incident than it is to who caused it. In all honesty, it's really, really hard to tell, to be completely honest. But I want to kind of see from McDaniel's point of view.
And by the way, while you're doing that, guess who is on pit road? Yes, sir. So, oh, whoa.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. I gotta rewind my video because okay, hold on. I will be back with you in just a moment. Okay, I want to see if this happened on your screen or not. Take a look at the 12 of Tim Schofield after this replay.
A couple of videos here for the guys that may want to come back and take a look at this. So, I don't know. What do you think happened there, chat? Do you think who's taking it? Is that McDaniel's fault, or do you think the 92 just kind of came down on that? And all we're doing now is see what.
Yeah, it was.
Which car?
It's the 12 of Tim Schofield.
Okay.
So look at the front of his car.
All right.
All right. So I want you to go back.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see what I saw. So just go back a little while, and you might be in for the wildest ride you've ever seen on iRacing.
Oh, it does have it on my screen.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what happens.
So take a look at this. We've got some issues going on.
Whoa, he just made it on the track. Oh my goodness. What?
So I think you understand what I was reacting to.
Oh my god! And
it looks like that had, it looks like that had to do with a connection issue because he did get disconnected from the server. He did reconnect, But yes,
still doesn't
I
have
don't think
tires on
I
that
don't think
thing.
he's going to be able to drive with that again.
Holy crap. That was some weird racing voodoo going on there. I've never seen anything like that before. He almost made it to the crowd. That could have been a lot of casualties.
Yeah, luckily that's one thing that is one thing that iRacing does not have to mimic, the safety of the fans. We don't have to worry about that here, so that's definitely a good thing. But
could you imagine being at a real race and like all of a sudden you just see a car going nuts, like just starts flipping through the air? Like just imagine, like from a virtual standpoint to real life, like it's just so weird. What could happen based off of like connection problems?
yeah, that was I've seen something similar to that before. There was a guy that used to broadcast the iRacing. He used to have his own server, and he would just basically just screw around, just try to put together these broadcasts with funny commentary. And that did happen in one of his broadcasts one time. Basically, the car disappeared and was just stuck about 100 feet in the air, and then finally came down and just started crashing all over the place. I do remember that, but yeah, this is the only other time I've seen anything even remotely close to that. But yeah, that was a wild ride to say the least.
I don't even want to know what the in-car camera looks like of that. I will probably throw up. But now we got a crazy mix-up up front. Brad McDaniel in the 32, who was part of that last incident, sitting second, and Kyle Steffens, who was involved in an early incident, now leading this thing. We got a newcomer ahead of everyone. We got a huge...
Yeah, those clean restarts that we had, not this time.
Yeah, that is getting dicey back here. We got a lot of guys everywhere.
If these guys don't spread out, this one's not going to last long.
Yeah, everyone's getting racing. And Buzzle again hitting the outside wall with 4 and almost caught in front of the 15 Joshua Funkhauser. Back up here quick.
Oh, car hit hard.
I think that was Faust in the 78, maybe 30. What was that? Brad McDaniel.
Yeah, that was McDaniel.
Let's take a look back here real quick. McDaniel, see what he got. Contact with the outside wall right there. Comes down in front of a big group. Luckily, no one involved in that. It's going to keep it green here. And now he's getting a run. Goes from 2nd to 13th like it's nothing. All that was going on. Neil Quick taking away the first place position from Kyle Steffens, who is also now being battled by
And was
McCann.
Just about to say, I was so shocked that there wasn't a caution, but now we have it. It's the 4 of Mike Harper. The 4 of Mike Harper, the 150 of Vincent Short, and it looks like it was started by Jeffrey Gilball, just not having a very good night tonight. He got loose coming off of 4, and yeah, just more cars getting involved with him, and yep, 3-car incident there.
Take a look at this real quick. See what we can find out. So 92 of Goldbolt here behind Buzzle on the 9. Goes down low here. Gets loose off of 4 and Short just there. Harper unfortunately part of that as well too. And guys just having a bad night. Jeffrey, I'm sure, wants this night to just be over with at this point. Kind of look on. Let's take a look from Vincent Short's point of view on this one. Right there with Harper in the 4-car. Coming into turn 3 and 4. Goldbolt right in front of Harper here. Going to get loose off of 4, trying to get around Buzzle. Gets a little too low and snaps it to the right. And Short just nowhere to go, unfortunately.
Yeah, I believe that's the second pretty big incident that Short's been involved in. I don't believe he has gotten the fast repair. It looks like, as you just showed, it looks like he did take the fast repair that time. But yeah, just nowhere to go that time. Just absolutely nothing you can do.
So Goldbolt in another incident. Was in that previous incident with a 32 of McDaniel. Maybe still a little upset. Can't get his head straight. Who knows? But that's one guy that's already this one to end. So unfortunately, collecting Patrick Short and Mike Harper there. And McCain up to second now. SEB King, that's again someone who started up front early on in the race with Quick, went all the way in the back of the track here in the later runs, and now he's kind of where he wants to be with almost 30 laps to go. Or sorry, less than 30 laps to go.
Yeah, definitely. I think the one with the true advantage now, I gotta say Brian McCann. I mean, just from previous races, we know how good he is, and but also Neil Quick. You know, they both pit 10 laps ago, so not a lot of laps on their tires. Kyle Steffens is currently in third, but he is on 53 lap tires now, so very fortunate to be able to be in that third place position right now, but we'll see how long he can hang on to it, because pretty much everybody behind him is on fresher tires. You have to go all the way back to 21st to Cody and Jorgensen, who is on 60 lap tires. Everybody else is pretty much good to go. Less than 10 lap old tires for all of them.
Yeah, and Cody and Jorgensen just back there 18 laps down actually, and just kind of chilling. Not much he can really do with all the damage that he has. So that's the thing that I definitely give to those guys that actually stay in the race. I mean, you're 18 laps down, and you're still managing to stay out here and try to have a good time with what you have. That's something that's, I could say for me personally, is really tough to do when I'm in league races, is you feel like you're competitive enough, and then when something happens, try to maintain your composure and stay out on the track to gain as many points as possible. I need to get used to that.
Yeah, for me, I mean, my short-term reaction is, you know, I'm ready to log off and just punch a wall or something. But, you know, once you have a few seconds to kind of chill out, you think, well, you know, if I quit this race, then, you know, my safety rating is going to be affected. And obviously, these guys don't have to worry about the safety rating or the I rating, because, you know, this isn't an official series. But still, when you are racing those official series, you have points to consider. You know, every position can be worth something. And so, you know, you just have to kind of convince yourself, all right, I've got nothing else to do, might as well finish this race. And so, you know, that's just what the attitude has to be. As somebody who, you know, when the NIS was doing the Southern 500 at Darlington, I was involved in a wreck in the first half of the race and had to talk myself into just sticking with it and fighting, you know, just staying on track for the rest of it. And, you know, it's something that you hate doing at the time, but once it's over with, you're definitely glad you did it.
Absolutely. And green flag is back out. McCain trying to work on Quick here in the 2-car. Cecil on the high side of the 08 of Kyle Steffens.
They got together.
Making contact, yeah. Them two getting together. He's collect himself pretty well. Still staying with him, though. They come around turn 2 right beside each other. Almost make contact again.
Got in the wall again.
And I think Cecil is about to be done with the 08 Kyle Steffens here. We'll have to...
Yeah, and again, that's those old tires. Oh my goodness.
This is some crazy racing. Cecil's trying to get underneath Kyle. Kyle keeping that line there. Right on the board with Cecil and see what he can get done. Maybe give him a little bump to go, see if we can get another one going here. Oh, he's going to go in hot. Looking for it, peeking in there, Steffens.
Steffens is one of those new drivers, so this is definitely testing the waters early in his career in the league.
Absolutely. Another new driver, Chris Medford in the 46, right behind Kyle now. Going to to see if he can get around him. And really, the Medford brothers, both Brandon and Chris, kind of stuck together through the majority of this race. Typically, you see one, the other one's not too far behind. Ooh, and just like that, Alan Warnecke coming off of 4 cuts really low on the front stretch and has a huge gap between him and Jarrett Widener in the 33 now.
Yeah, and the big question is, can Neil Quick hold off Brian McCann? McCann did run the fastest lap that last time as they come to the line here.
Who's that? Someone collected the wall. I think it was Kyle Steffens. It is.
Oh.
Yep, Kyle Steffens, no caution out. There's debris on the track. I'm sure iRacing's going to throw something here. Kyle Steffens going down to the exit of pit road. No caution.
Yeah, and that was the old tires just coming into effect there. He was really struggling with them and unfortunately just couldn't hang on for the end of his race. And that's unfortunate because he was having a good night.
I'll try to go back a little bit. And
oh, man, there was more contact.
So Kyle Steffens there making contact with Jared Wheelner just a little bit to move him up the track. Both of them hit the wall.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
oh, my God, what a hit.
And then comes back up.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh, the 15 of Joshua Funkhauser nailing the backside of Steffens. I don't know how a caution did not come
yeah, I
for
have
that.
no idea.
Jesus.
And meanwhile, we have a battle for the lead.
Yep.
Brian McCann, look who it is.
And just like that, Cole Cecil trying to peek his nose down below Neil Quick as well, too. Not going to get it there.
Oh, 46 of Chris Mefford with a huge run, and he will take the 3rd spot. He ran the fastest lap by far. Wow.
He's going to get a huge run on Quick going into 3 here. And just like that, it's taking that spot away, just getting 2 spots in 1 lap like it was nothing, leaving his brother in the dust. But now his brother's working on Cole Cecil back there for 4th place. Brian McCann trying to get out for this one. I haven't heard from him all night. All of a sudden comes out of nowhere with about 20 laps to go, less than 20 now, and he's leading the race.
Yeah, this is what we've come to expect from him. Based on what we've seen in there, we haven't seen a whole lot of these IROC races, but it seems to me like Brian McCann is basically the Kevin Harvick of this league. I mean, when he's not dominating a race, he's closing out a race. So just a very strong showing from McCann, even though we really haven't talked about him that much. But at the same time, as many cautions as there have been, that's not necessarily a bad thing because that means he's avoiding wrecks.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh, I just saw Jarrett Wiedner back there just Tokyo drift off of 4, almost nails the outside wall with the rear end, but manages to keep it off of that. But I was going to say Cole Cecil having a handful right here. Brandon Mefford gets running. Now he's got Evan Faust to his inside. I know Colt's been kind of letting people take the position away, but it looks like he's genuinely trying to race these guys here. And you saw him right there getting loose off of 4. And man, I can't imagine what these guys' arms are feeling like trying to keep control of this car tonight.
Yeah, it's certainly not easy when you're having to constantly correct from those tires, just wanting to slide up the track like that. But they're just trying to do all you can to hang on to it without the car going around. As came down to looks like a car in the wall there.
Faust just kind of a lap car at the wrong time, coming off for 4, both on the high side, and nowhere to go. Try to go down low. Cecil was there, cuts in front of him. So luckily, there was no wreck there. They managed to keep it clean. But
there's a caution.
Just like that, you say the words and it happens.
I tell you what, this is the person who actually I think did want to see this was Brian McCann, because Mefford was catching him. He was about 2/10 quicker for a couple of laps in a row. So I think McCann being able to get off to a strong restart here after this caution, I think is going to be a big deal late in this race.
And I'm not seeing what brought this caution out. I didn't see anybody's name really drop down the leaderboard. Everyone has most of the guys have damage, so it's really hard to base it off of the damage. Like, part of me wants to say the 10 car, but I don't believe so. While we figure this out on the replay. Take a look here. Comes out there. All muzzle. Tricky.
I found it. Jeffrey Gilbalt, 92.
Oh, Jeffrey again. All right.
Yeah, I was having just as much of a time finding it as you were, but yeah, Jeffrey Gilbalt got loose coming off of turn 4, and yeah, when your rear bumper's dragging like that, that can definitely make your car a bit looser than it should be.
Around with Gilbalt here. Yeah, that back end is all over the place right now.
Gilbalt did just disconnect from the server, so I think he's had just about enough. And I'll tell you what else is unfortunate. Jesse King, who you were just mentioning during the last caution, he had a network issue, it looks like. So he is currently disconnected from the server.
Wow. And I don't know if these are guys that are being removed or if they're disconnecting themselves. Oh yeah, you can tell if it's a disconnection though, right? On your end?
Yeah. So Jesse King's is received throughput. Jeffrey Gilbalt just manually disconnected. So
92 of Gilbalt here. Gonna go ahead and put her in the garage. Unfortunately, part of a decent amount of wrecks here tonight. Something you definitely don't want to be a part of. But this track is tough, man. I mean, just in general, the cars alone. The cars are already a handful to race, and then when you throw them on a mile-long track that's just insanely fast, you know, you just got to do what you got to do.
Man, I tell you what, I was just clicking around, and man, I can't get over, even though it was obviously a glitch, I just can't get over the amount of damage on Tim Schofield's car. I didn't know. I honestly didn't know that iRacing was capable of having a car that truly damaged. I mean, he is completely missing his right front tire. That's unreal.
Yeah, they did a really good job with the damage of the ARCA cars, and I'm hoping one day they bring that to the rest of the cars, like Truck Series, NASCAR Cup Series. Like, it would be great to see this type of damage on some other cars.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about the damage model for the Cup Series a couple of weeks ago that they did introduce for, I mean, it was only a couple of days, and on one side of the coin it was awesome because, like, when you hit the wall hard, it looked like the car was blowing up almost. But on the other side of the coin, the exact same thing. The car was blowing up when you hit the wall. So, you know, there were definitely some issues that had to be addressed, and unfortunately we just haven't really seen anything close to that damage model that they came out with. I was fortunate enough to be in one race with it. I believe it was literally the day that it came out. The NIS series was at Michigan, and my bumper, like, I was involved in an incident, and a couple of laps later, once we went green again, my front bumper completely fell off, and I thought that I had cut a tire, and the bumper was in front of my car, and my car all of a sudden wouldn't steer. And so we're on a restart, so more on that later.
Yeah, and just like that, 9 laps to go.
Oh my goodness, we got a wreck.
Oh, I just saw it too.
Oh, a big one.
Back there.
Oh
my gosh, a huge
track completely blocked.
Oh,
and
that's
why this place is called the Monster Mile, because this track just gets blocked in no time.
It's going to be caution number 12 here tonight, which is insane to think about, but let's take a look and see who and what happened. So we know Mick Daniel was involved. Let's take a look at him off the restart here. Do a blimp cam, see what we can do. Goes 3 wide with Wally and Buzzle, and looks like he got just a little scared, I think. I don't know. He collects Wally. Wally gets spun around, and next thing you know, everyone's involved in that one.
And who that really messed up was Neil Quick. He dropped back to
Slow it
third
down.
just in that little bit of time that they went green. He must not have gotten off to a very good start that time, and unfortunately fell back to third. But Chris, or actually, no, I'm sorry, he was third before that last caution. But yeah, Chris Mefford still in second place, and so boy, not a lot of time for him to make that pass. You know that, I mean, Brian McCann is at his own discretion when to restart the race. Once that pace car goes in, you decide when to restart all the way up until the green flag truly drops. And so this late in the race, Brian McCann definitely has a huge advantage being in that lead spot.
That is a lot of damage right there. I don't even know who to even ride with. I think I'm gonna ride with
I would say Benfield
Benfield
would be a good one, because he had open air in front of him, and then just all of a sudden the car in front of him just nailed the inside wall and ended up right in front of him, and so just nothing he could do. And yeah, this is quite a ride.
It's kind of rough because it almost looks like Wally comes like up on McDaniel from that angle, but they were 3 wide, so there's barely any room there to begin with.
Yeah, I mean,
that one's really hard to
when they're that close to each other and there's no room for error. I mean, it is what it is. Man, that was a damaged car right there.
This is Wally's point of view. Take a look at him. Trying to get a good angle on it. You're going to see him 3 wide, Daniel in the middle there in the 32. And it goes down while Wally comes up, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and I don't know if we'll ever know for sure, because there could have been some net code that sent him up as well. That's happened to me before, so that definitely could have played a factor there. But yeah, just when you're 3 wide, you just it's impossible for all 3 cars to keep it perfectly straight. You're always going to have a little bit of just going up and down just a little bit, and that's all it takes for that to happen.
Caution number 12 here at Dover, and I wonder if we're gonna get we're not gonna get a green-white checker here because the lights actually 2 laps, 7, and they go green on 48. Yeah, so we should be going
if the
green
lights
in
cut
3.
off. If the lights cut off here, then it should restart with 3 to go. Oh, we have it happening again.
What's that?
Take a look at Schofield.
Oh, I see him. He just cut across McCain. I wonder if he can get damage from that. Could you imagine?
And the voice chat, these guys did see it that time. They're going crazy. Cecil saying it looked like a tornado going on the front stretch.
Here we are again with number 12 Chauffeur. Let's take a look here once again. Yeah, he just, wow.
Now I want to, oh my, there's that car, oh my God.
McCann was, oh man, he goes down the whole front stretch. Wow, the pace car.
Yeah.
McCann tries to get around that. What does that look like from McCann's point of view? We can't really say, but I think we're going green here while we're trying to pay attention to what's going on. Okay, yeah, so we are going to be going green here. Man, I don't know what Tim should just disconnect at that point. That's terrifying.
Yeah, I thought he was disconnected, but he did connect again a little bit later, a while back. So yeah, that's not fun. He hasn't disconnected either though, so I don't know I'm not sure what caused that.
I mean, imagine that 5 laps to go, and all of a sudden the Tim NATO just comes across the front stretch and just takes the whole field out.
I'll tell you what, on this restart, Chris Mefford did do a good job of keeping up with McCann.
Yeah, Brandon just hit the outside wall. He's into Faust. Faust is on the bumper of him, almost spins him. I don't know how.
Oh, we've got a race for the lead. McCann got loose coming off of 4, and Mefford is right there. We'll see if he tries to use the bumper. That's tight right there.
He's going to get a big room right here off the backstretch. He's going to go to the inside, and McCann is going to have to try his best to race him. And Chris Medford, a rookie in this series,
wasn't able to clear him though.
Oh, we got a car in the wall. Looks like it's Jared Widener. Yellow's going to come out.
Oh wow. Oh my goodness. Medford had it won. Ooh, that's a hard hit right there.
Yeah, now this is going to be interesting. This is going to give us a green-white checkered opportunity. And we have a newcomer in the lead going against, I mean, hands down, one of the best drivers in the league right now, which is McCann. So it's going to be interesting to see what these two guys are going to do. But let's go ahead and crank up the replay and take a look and see what happened to Jarrett in this 33. So purple car right there at your screen. I think it might be a single spin coming off of 4. No, contact with Warnecke and sends Widener into the inside wall. And I think he also collects Pendergraph there in the 14 as well. Let's take a ride with Pendergraph and see if we can get some more info. So it looks like Warnecke's going to collect the outside wall coming off of 4. Alright, oh actually no, he just collects Wilbur and that's going to get into Pendergraph and send him up the wall. So Kyle, another one having a rough time unfortunately. Warnecke will be the cause of that caution number 13. Even after that, Warnecke's sitting up into in 7th place right now. All right, so we're gonna have a green-white checkered here. What do you think is going through Chris Medford's mind right now?
You know, I don't know. He's talking in the voice chat in the server, so he seems to be pretty cool, calm, and collective. But I don't know. I think you know, we're looking at a 1967 I rating with a B class versus Brian McCann with a 4941 I rating and a 499 safety rating and an A class. So when it comes to experience, the advantage definitely goes to Brian, but at the same time, Chris Medford has been very quick, especially late in this run. I mean, we were seeing the runs that he was getting off of the turns. I mean, he is the fastest on the track when it comes to getting off the turns. He's doing a great job of getting the momentum going. Now, the question is, will McCann, you know, try to give him a little tap? Because typically that means that, you know, if you're getting better runs off of the turns, that usually means that you're going just a little bit slower into the turns. So, you know, that could come into play. So it's going to be exciting to see here.
I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsors for tonight's race over with IROC. It's going to be R&R Racewear. You can find them at r-rracewear.com. Get your high-end racing apparel and die-cast cars from them, as well as our Loud Pedal Gaming over at facebook.com/Loud Pedal Gaming. Just a streamer who plays a bunch of different styles of games. So huge shout out to those guys. Make sure you let them know that IROC and 10 Force sent you. So thank you guys again for sponsoring the series. But yeah, we're gonna get down to a shootout here, and literally, really, this is gonna go to anybody. I mean, if they race hard enough, it could open the door for Quick or even Brandon Medford. So this is probably the biggest restart of the night right here, 100%. And Chris Medford is in control of it.
Oh yeah, no question. I mean, we were saying how McCann had the advantage on the last restart because he gets to control when they actually start getting up to speed. But now that definitely goes to Medford. But we'll see how quickly McCann can respond to that. You have to sit there and look at that lead car. Just have to sit back and wait for him to start going, and then you have to be able to get on that gas as quickly as possible. And it is much easier said than done. I mean, your race can be destroyed, from getting off to a slow restart.
Absolutely.
And you see it right
just
there.
like
Great restart by Mefford. McCann did fall back a little bit.
Yeah,
He was able to clear the third place car, so he still has a shot here.
Now, for those of you who may watch real racing at home, there's no restart line in this league. It's really just on the start. But McCann gets up to his bumper really quick, even after that restart. And now we've got a race.
We got a little loose coming off of 4 as we are on the. Is that not the white? That should be the white flag.
The white flag. Yep, white flag down right here. It's Loud Pedal Gaming white flag. Chris Medford looking for his first win in the Series League, his first race, trying to take it away from McCann, who's known to win races here. Coming off of turn 4 is going to keep McCann behind him, and Chris Medford going to get his first win here in the IROC Series, along with his brother, who's sitting third, and Brian McCann coming home with a nice little second place finish. What a huge race for Chris Medford right now.
I'll tell you what, looking at the top 10, the one that I'm seeing that those tires did pay off was Alan Warnecki. Ended up with a 7th place finish. A nice day for him.
Absolutely, and stick around. We're gonna interview the top 3 drivers tonight, so definitely hang out for that. In the meantime, try to get everybody together here. Efforts in the 46. Kind of pull these guys up into the waiting room real quick, and then McCann up here as well. And I'm gonna leave it to you, Mr. Question Guy. My brain is fried from the night, so let's get this started here. We'll get with Brandon Mefford in just a moment. Oh man, what a race. Holy crap.
Yeah, that was definitely a fun one. I mean, there was a good share of cautions, but Josh, I think you'll agree that was nowhere close to as ridiculous as Lucas Oil was last week. So
yeah, definitely not. And even then, when we're looking at 13 cautions, we had 18 at Lucas Oil. Lucas Oil is a very tough track, but they did a fantastic job keeping everything calm, cool, and collected here tonight. I mean, even with the high number of cautions we had, still a fantastic job amongst these guys to get everything done. So we're going to go ahead and I need to make sure I get the right Mefford here because they have the same exact names, just different numbers. We're going to go ahead and get Brandon Mefford up here finishing third. Brandon, you got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
Hey, Brandon. So obviously a lot of cautions in this race. Had to not just survive, all the different wrecks. You had to survive 2 different seizures from the number 12 car, who just was having connection issues and just ended up all over the front stretch, just flipping like crazy out of nowhere. But also, having to worry about the track position and tires. And you end up with a 3rd place finish. I know that, when it comes to you and your brother, you'd rather be the one to finish at the top. But how do you feel about the 3rd place finish?
I really think I had a car to beat tonight. Me and Chris and, Neil, Evan, these guys were all real fast. So it was all going to be where you got on the restarts and who didn't mess up. So I'm stoked with 3rd place, to be honest with you. 0X for the race, so no incidents, and I came out of the consi, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, as you should. And the 0X in a race with as many cautions at one of the most difficult tracks that's not a short track, definitely a huge accomplishment. We were talking during the broadcast. We're assuming that you and your brother work together quite a bit. Is that the case? I mean, was there any strategy between you two?
Yeah, not to give any secrets away, but yeah, he's been doing this a long time. I just started doing this past year, so he helps out a lot. But strategy was to save the tires the first however many laps because we only had 2 new sets, so you had to go at least 50 on a set. So we wanted to save them and be good at the end of a long run, and we proved we could do that.
Absolutely, you did a fantastic job. I mean, Chris, this is Chris's first race, so was it you who kind of tried to get him into the league, or how did that go about getting him in?
Yeah, honestly, we had some guys drop out of the league. My brother asked me what we were doing on Thursday nights. I let him know I was in this league, and I didn't reach out. I told him if he wanted to get in, he needed to ask admins, and he did, and Chris let him in. So he's going to be hard to beat every single week. He's always fast. He's always got a good car, and if you want to get to the front, follow him. Everybody better learn that quick.
Did a fantastic job here tonight. A third place finish. Can't really be upset with that. Come fourth place into points, so those are definitely going to help you, especially with Kevin McCann not making it here tonight, who's sitting second. So looks like you might gain a spot. We'll have to take a look and see. I know Quick finished behind you, who is ahead of you in points, so we'll have to take a look at that. But next week, I forgot to look to see where we were going. Let me check real quick. It looks like we are going to, the Worldwide Technology Raceway. What's your feelings about that track?
I've been there, and I'll tell you what, Chris Wally put one heck of a schedule together. Every track is tough. He wants to make sure everybody can drive, and he's putting everyone to the test. So that's going to be a tough one also. So I look forward to it. Like I said, I've raced there one time. I really fell in love with the place. I'm not that good there, but I hope to be up front when the race is over.
Congratulations on the third place finish. While you're here, is there anybody you'd like to shout out?
Yeah, again, I want to thank you guys for the broadcast. I love going back and watching these when we get done. You guys do a great job. Thank Chris, Wally, and all the admins, everybody that puts this on, everybody in the IROC Championship Series. I want to thank my brother. Thank Jarrett Widener. We're kind of all together there, a little bit of family there. And then I want to thank my family and for them allowing me to do this and taking a little bit of time away from them in the evening on Thursday night. So without them, none of that would be possible.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, Brandon, on the third place finish, and hopefully we'll talk to you again next week.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
And
right.
Josh, before we go to the next driver, just letting you know you do have the replay screen up.
Oh, God, I'm horrible with that. Jeez.
It's all good.
My bad. That just ruined Brandon's whole interview with his car on screen. Darn it. He's going to go back and look at it now after he just told us how much he enjoyed it.
Yep. You just burned that bridge.
We'll go ahead and bring up Brian McCann here, second place finisher tonight at Dover. Brian, you got a copy?
Hey, yeah.
Brian, we brought you up here a little too early. What's going on? A second place finish. That's not what we're used to seeing from you.
Yeah, my biggest strength is a long run, and I'm just not good on the, we had 2 or 3 restarts there at the end, and yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Obviously, second place is never going to complain too much about that, but it seemed like we really hardly called your name for most of tonight. It seemed like you were just trying to kind of lay back, save the tires, stay out of trouble. Was that your strategy, or were you just were you struggling a little bit?
No, it's just overall my driving style. If you wear the tires out early, it's going to kill you in the long run. So I've always raced like that, and tonight it didn't really work out so well since we had so many, cautions. I think longest run was like 20, 30 laps or something.
Yeah, definitely. And noticing, obviously iRating isn't any indication of skill necessarily, but a 49.41 iRating for you currently. And Chris Mefford came in with a 1967 iRating and was able to get the win. I mean, did you notice anything in particular that he was doing that, it looked like he was getting some really good runs off of the turns onto the straightaways? I mean, Was there anything that you felt you could have done different to beat him, or do you think that he was just the one to beat?
Yeah, I came into this race pretty much like I do every week, no practice. And one thing I did notice that he was doing was diamond in the corner a little bit on that first, right after the green. And on the last restart, I did that, and I got a huge run on him, but I wasn't able to get up to his bumper. I think if I would have got up, I could have went to the inside of him. But yeah, he was definitely fast.
Now there's that term again, because we did a broadcast Monday night, if Alan remembers, and the winner of that race said the same thing about Dover, is to think of it as a diamond. So as soon as you said that, that made me immediately think of Monday night's race. So I think that's like the strategy here for Dover, is that diamond-shaped entry when you come in.
Yeah, but you can't do it too long because you'll eventually kill that right front, I believe.
Well, big question that I had for tonight was, I noticed that Kevin didn't show up or wasn't here for the race, and I know he's sitting second in points after a win from Lucas Oil last week. Is there any update as to any reason why he wasn't here tonight?
Yeah, the hurricane or tropical storm, whatever came through the south today, that knocked his power out, and his power's still out, so he wasn't able to race.
Wow. Yeah, that is definitely rough. Hopefully everything is good with him over there. I know that was a pretty nasty storm for the size it was, so hopefully he is doing well and can come back with us next week. But yeah, man, second place. You can't go wrong with that. I know, like you were saying before, we didn't really talk to you much like we used to in the other races, but hopefully next week. It's a weird track. I don't really know much about wide, was it worldwide technology tracks? Do you have any insight on that track at all?
I'm actually pretty good at that track, so I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you can get it done there, and you run away with a second place finish here at Dover. And is there anybody you'd like to shout out while you're here?
Yeah, my wife Marissa, she gave me a haircut last night, and it helped with my aerodynamics a little bit.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations on the second place finish, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again next week.
All right, thank you.
Man, the haircut, huh? That's all I need. Man, if you saw the hair I'm
hey.
rocking right now, whew, my aerodynamics is all jacked up then. Go ahead and bring up, again, their names are so identical. Bring up Chris Medford, winner here tonight at Dover. Chris, you have a copy?
I sure do.
So, Chris, you end up with a big win beating Brian McCann, who up to this point has really dominated this series. Did you think you were going to be able to hang on there?
Well, I guess the first long green flag run we had, I saved. I don't know if I saved too much or not, but I was back in eighth, and then the tires fell off with the other guys, and mine are still pretty healthy. I drove all the way up to second, I believe it was, and then the caution came out, and I just wasn't very good on the short runs, just because I didn't want to burn my tires up. In the fast runs, in the fast times, you diamond the track, but if you want to save the tires, I was entering a little bit higher and letting it roll and kind of get more of a straighter shot off. But Brian, I took turn one pretty easy on that last restart because I didn't know how I was going to react. And then I looked up my mirror, he's riding my bumper, so I had to drive probably the deepest I've drove all race, and actually turned my fastest lap on the last lap of the race. So I was definitely he made me definitely push it.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been broadcasting these IROC races since the beginning of the season. I know you're new to the league, but yeah, I mean, Brian McCann has definitely been the class of the series thus far, and so that is definitely a big deal to beat him. And I was just mentioning to him, not that I rating is any indication of overall skill, but you've got a 1967 I rating. McCann came in with a 4941 I rating, so you got to think that the experience that he has, and by the way, a 499 safety rating as well. So you can't ask for really better numbers than that for McCann, and you were still able to beat him. So a huge accomplishment there.
Yeah, I said I don't run a lot of official. I did for a while when I first started, and you just got so many ding dongs out there just want to wreck you.
Oh yeah.
So it's almost not worth it. I really stick to just league racing. Just for a couple facts is that one, it's funner because you can race with some friends. Two, you can know who you can race, who you can't race, and that's the big thing. I know I talked to Brian a little bit, and he said Brian's pretty much the guy to beat. And like you just said, with that kind of I rating, that kind of safety rating, he's gonna give you some room. Um, so that's always a blast to race somebody that hard.
I got to ask real quick. So, you guys, I don't even know if you guys knew who it was, but it was Tim Schofield that was basically his car was basically having a seizure there up in the air with about 5 laps to go during that caution lap. That was actually the second time that had happened to him in the race. Um, was there any? Did you feel like did you have to swerve to avoid that, or was everybody okay there?
I think everybody's okay. I think everybody actually got a crack out of it. I pulled the cold trickle. Did you see that guy? And it was just, whenever you're having fun out there, that's when the best, not only yourself but the others can race around you, and that's what makes league racing fun.
I know you said you do mainly league racing. Are there any other leagues you partake in besides the IROC now that you have that on your Thursdays?
Yeah, so when I first started coming back, I took a few years off, and I came back to a league called RFC, Racing for a Cause. I ran for them for quite a few years. I still do. And then I moved to a Sunday series called Next Gen, and they've actually grown a lot. So it's kind of nice to be there and um, why everything's growing and be a part of that. And then we got a league that runs sometimes on Thursdays, and he's opened up another day. I think Tuesdays. It's an open series, and actually one of my buddies runs that. And I'm not a big open guy, but
Yeah.
we just kind of get there, fiddle things around, and we can make it fast for about 2 laps, and after that, you can really tell the guys with the setups that can really take off.
So those series, are they different types of cars? Or are they still within like the ARCA series itself, or?
So the RFC series now on a Tuesday, they are running the 87 cars. On Sunday, they are running the ARCA cars, and then I believe next season they're running the B cars fixed. Then I think on Wednesday that league is also going to the 87 cars. So, and I know on the Thursday night, it was open set. He was running A cars, and then I believe he's going to trucks next year. So, totally different monsters.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of the A car personally, just because you can't really separate the drivers from the cars, just because of how much draft plays in the hand. So that's why I'm looking forward to the trucks. I like the trucks; they're heavy. You can sling them around. You can beat and bang and still be fast.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. The only reason why I was wondering if you're in other leagues was just noticing if ARCA cars were something that were kind of like up your realm, or if you don't really care what kind of car you race, you just want to race.
Yeah, no, ARCA cars, they're fun. One thing I'm not a fan of, which whoever races iRacing and races these things is the wall glitch. You touch the wall and it takes you 20 seconds to basically go off the wall, and to get off the wall you got to yank it, and if somebody's around you, you're ducking them and everybody else. So that's the big downfall on those ARCA cars. But other than that, I mean, they're fun. Draft don't play too much in a hand. You can sing them around, but I mean, I was watching Brian's interview, but you can really burn them tires up, and you can tell who saves the tires and who don't.
Well, I want to give you a huge congratulations, man. First race of the season, first time here. We get yourself a dub, and now we're going to the Worldwide Technology Raceway next week. So, is this something that you're gonna do through the rest of the season, or is this one of these leagues you're gonna kind of dip your toes in every once in a while when you get the chance?
So I think I'm really looking forward to running the rest of the season. Obviously, like I said, one of my good friends, he runs a Thursday night league, and I'm gonna he's been going at it for I think just over an actual year. So I've been kind of wanting to help promote him, but so that stuff starts next year. So I got plenty of time to run this series. Um, so yeah, I plan on running quite a bit. So Brandon, my brother, he started racing a few months back. I finally got him into it after a long time of bribing him for it, and he seems to really enjoy it. he used to race, a few years back, and then his kids started playing sports, so he dropped racing, and obviously stepped up to be a dad for his kids' sports, and this kind of brings him back to home, and it's always fun, to race. Not with like you're my brother, but I mean obviously at least my friends, my buddies, and stuff like that. So that's what I really enjoy running with these guys.
Awesome. Well, this is your first time in the booth. We typically ask if there's any shout outs. So is there anybody you'd like to shout out while you're here?
Yeah, thank you guys for broadcasting. I know there's some leagues that don't broadcast. But yeah, without you guys, I mean, I always find it 10 times better to even go back and watch and then laugh at dumb net code issues.
Oh,
Kind of like
find some
the
craziness.
yeah, kind of like the Wizard of Oz 150 we had here tonight with the car on the front stretch.
Oh,
But I said, without you guys, it makes it so much more fun with you guys. Thanks for Chris and the admins for allowing me to be a part of the league. Good run with Brian. It was, like I said, it was a blast. Like I said, Brandon said he's the one to beat, and his iRating is crazy. So it's always fun to race a guy hard that has that kind of respect throughout the iRacing world. Shout out to my mom. She's a breast cancer survivor, and also shout out all the breast cancer survivors and the people with breast cancer. Hope you guys get to get beat cancer. Whip it. That's what the world's about. Is, caring for those kind of people. Shout out to my teammates on the other side from Falcon Motorsports. Those guys, we got a good bunch there. They push each other to make each other better. So, it's a whole big group effort. I just love the racing family.
Fantastic, dude. Awesome shout outs there. Well, congratulations, Chris, on your first win, man. And hopefully we can speak to you again next week.
Hey, that's always a plan. You guys have a good weekend.
There we go. Chris Medford closing it out here at Dover. What a fantastic way of doing it. First race in. Got it under his belt now, kind of broke the mold and starting to set a little bit. Maybe we might have some competition with McCann now. Someone finally up there that can give him a run for his money. It'll be interesting to see how the remainder of the season goes with him. So huge welcome for him. And of course, like we said here, we got to give a huge thank you to IROC Challenge Series, Chris Wally, Kyle Pennygraph, and all those guys for allowing us to do the broadcast. Loud Pedal Gaming over at facebook.com/Loud Pedal Gaming for sponsoring the event. R&R Racewear. You can find them at r-rracewear.com for racing apparel in your diecast cars. Can't thank them enough for allowing them to put on the series. And man, we're just getting started. We got a long road to go. Series ends in February, and I swear it gets better and better the more we race.
Yeah, definitely. It's we were kind of sitting here wondering, at the start of the race, how the race was going to go, how many cautions there were going to be, especially after last week at Lucas Oil, and it didn't disappoint. I mean, there was kind of the best of both worlds. There was some really good racing out there, but at the same time, there were enough cautions to really keep the cars very close to each other, and some big hits as well, and the 12 car flying like crazy. So just a very, very entertaining race overall.
Well, for those of you who stuck around through it all, we want to give a huge thank you to you guys. Hopefully you're enjoying the broadcast, and if you are, make sure subscribe, follow, do whatever, share it to some guys that you want to get into iRacing. This is a great way to kind of show them what's going on. We have a lot of fun doing this, and we can't thank all of y'all enough for hanging out with us. But yeah, next week we are going to Worldwide Raceway. I don't know much about the Worldwide Technology Raceway, so I might have to pick that up and give it a little whirl with these cars to get an idea. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. So we got a couple of guys that are looking forward to it, so hopefully they can get something moving. But other than that, everyone here from 10-4, myself, Alan, we want to thank y'all guys again.